Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Uh-oh. There we go. Now it's capturing. Okay. Issues, I swear. Alright. So. Where'd it go? Alright, it's secondary now, isn't it? Yep, there it is.
Show me what you got.
Good morning, Hazardous, Bragwin, Loner. What's up, guys? Hello, Miss Cardo. Hello, Vigilant.
The rats, why did he need them?
Bloody rodents. Better to have stuffed them with a poison, or crushed them into a pulp with a shovel, but no.
Did you see what he did with them?
Good morning, Platy.
Keira, what are you doing?
Geralt. You gave me quite a start.
But nay, the mage says, bring me rats and healthy ones. Not something the cat dragged in.
This the lamp from the elf's hideout? And what's this about rats?
Nothing important. I'll explain later. Now tell me, to what do I owe the pleasure?
Hi, Leander.
Why do you want the lamp?
You just witnessed why. To communicate with lost souls.
Didn't know you were interested in that kind of magic.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Why'd the elf promise you the lamp?
We traded for it. He needed powerful magic and sensed I was no common wart charmer. I brewed him a potion. To delay nervous tissue degeneration, stave off memory loss or some such.
Who'd he want to use it on?
He didn't say.
A potion to stave off tissue degeneration and memory loss. Interesting, interesting. I'm sure that's completely irrelevant. Hi, Tokyo Vampire.
So, bet you saw this question coming. What are you doing here?
Let me think. Enjoying the country air? Admiring the unspoilt sea? I'm in hiding.
Actually, we've done this
Persecution.
already.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Witch hunting.
Blah, 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 blah.
Changing the... Any news of your sisters from the lodge?
None. We can't know too much about one another these days. It's safer that way.
Even tried to
I
contact...
feel like I've already said that dialogue option too, so we'll just move over. Well, there goes Scemed. Yeah, I saw that block though.
Mentioned you wanted something from me.
I did, and still do. The Cursed Isle on Lake Windammer. You've heard of it, I'm sure. The local peasants mumble incessantly about it, about the wraiths that haunt it. They claim none who go there return.
I managed to. But while on the island, I did sense something strange. How'd it come to be cursed?
That's what I don't know. I must break this spell, yet I've been unable to identify its source.
Gotta know something.
Scraps. The curse is somehow linked to the tower where Serard, the lord of these lands, took refuge when Nilfgaard invaded. Claims in the village are that peasants, desperate of hunger, sailed to Fyke Isle to beg for food. Met their end there. It was a massacre. So, will you please help me lift this curse? You're so good at these things.
I mean, it's true. By the way, hi Corellis, hello Scemed, and hello Black Vial and Gold Flavius. Why do you want to lift the curse?
Why are you so intent on this?
I'm not, the local peasantry is. The Isle, miss, you've got to lift the charm. You're a good witch, a great witch. There's no end to it.
See, I thought you didn't care for the locals. The great witch you are.
I failed to lift the curse, and they could conclude I'm not so great. not enough to conceal me from the witch hunters and risk getting sent to the gallows themselves.
What others think, your image, that's all you care about.
The point is, listen, I didn't flee to these wilds just to stupidly get caught because some boar with grit under his fingernails grows annoyed with me.
Fine, fine. So Viserat had all the peasants killed?
So the peasants who went to the island for food, this lord had them murdered?
The villagers say he had them poisoned.
A real gentleman.
Well, I never met him. But he certainly didn't seem such a cruel man, judging by what a mage from the Isle told me.
A mage lived on the island? Did you know him? Where is he now?
We were friends. Sadly, he died that day as well. Very few survived. Yet even those who escaped the Isle soon suffered agonizing deaths. Strangely, they did not seem to have been poisoned.
Hello, Schmeidolf, Mr. Funbags, and Bragwin. And Twinning, excuse me. And Huthor. Nah, Keira's not competent. Yeah, I like the Nilfgaardian outfit too, Saint. It suits him. It's funny how that works out.
Alright, I'll help.
I knew you'd find it irresistible. Naturally, you'll need to sail to Fyke Isle.
Fine. What then?
Well, the spirits who wander the Isle, you must establish a rapport with them. Don't know how, but they could point us in the direction of the curse's source.
Your dedication will be rewarded.
Of course, provided you take my magic lamp with you. I shall let you keep it afterwards in appreciation. You'll find it quite useful, I'm sure.
It is Twining? Oh my gosh. I'd never heard of the T, sorry. Alright, who just donated? Who just donated? Who dares? It was... Loner! And hi, Blackout. I think you're right, Loner. I think there's only one Homeworld game I have never streamed. Well, okay. Give me a second to add yet another thing to the website. 5. Either way, thank you very, very much, Loner. Even though you just added yet another thing to the website, to the list, I still appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And thank you, the Blackout. Although, as much as I appreciate that sub, and it is much appreciated, thank you, you didn't tell me what you want to put it towards, so that's a stabbing, I'm afraid.
Can't you just come with me?
I tried to go to Fyke Isle once. Thought my head would burst, the curse's magic was so strong.
Nice of you to send me there.
I experienced an acute nasal hemorrhage. You stand to endure a wobble of your medallion at most. At Aretusa, they trained me to detect even the subtlest magic pulses. This was like getting smacked across my haunches with a grain flail.
Funny. Thought you'd go in for that sort of thing.
Take my boat. I left it on the lake shore near the village. Should be fit to use. Provided rot
Of
hasn't
course
eaten it,
you follow
as it
me.
seems to eat
They
everything
all
here.
do.
Hang on. So Blackout wants to put it down here in the redistribute pile. So noted. Thank you again. Seend wants to put it towards Kiwami 1, I believe. Kiwami. Thank you very, very much, Seend. Although your timing's weird. God, I am so tired this morning. What is wrong with me? I feel like just closing my eyes. Oh. Ah. Wake up, Lore. Wake up. Ah. Okay. So, Huthor, I'm not ignoring you. I want to talk more about what you're referencing, but I want to kind of save it, because right now we're just kind of doing your typical back and forth. There's a scene that I feel does a little bit more insight into Keira, and it's coming up in probably, I'd say, about 20 minutes or so. So stick around. Second of all, I did see the images from the Netflix series. Still not sure if I care, if I'm being completely honest. But I always pictured Cavill would be a good Geralt. I know this sounds weird, but I'm actually a pretty big fan of Henry Cavill. And he's got a really good... He knows how to do... He knows how to act without his voice, if that makes any sense. He's a very visual, very body motion actor. He can do that quite well. And I point that out because he's not the first actor I've referenced that about. I've noticed some actors, even if they have crap scripts, will still kind of be like, be able to visually act, even as they're saying drivel.
How's the lamp actually work? I mean, do I just rub it, or do I have to do something, magical?
You needn't even rub. Just place it where you find bones and hear whispers. I suppose I should warn you, it might not be the most pleasant experience.
Figured as much. Tell you all about it later. Maybe skip the drastic bits.
You'll need to do neither. I'll give you a Xenovox. It's a bauble that will let us speak over some distance. You will tell me what you see, and I shall tell you what to do and look for.
Never heard of a Xenovox.
It works just like a megascope, but is far more portable. Think of it as a magic box that talks.
Are they hard to build?
Extremely. That's why they're so rare. I certainly couldn't build anything like it.
So no chance these Xenovoxes will catch on with every mage using one?
Not the slightest.
I mean, honestly, can you imagine a world in which everyone has some kind of portable device that they can just use to talk to people whenever they want to? That's insanity!
So, where'd you get the Xenovox?
Found it in the mine along with the lamp. Thought it was part of the lamp at first. Didn't realize what I'd actually found until later.
Think it belonged to the elven mage?
Clearly. And I didn't even know the elves used them.
I need to know anything else before I go?
No, that is all. Oh, go already. I can't wait to see what you discover on Fyke. Just be sure to come and see me afterwards. And Geralt.
Hmm?
Thank you.
Yep. Camera. You're welcome, Avatar 1? I'm not sure I deserve any degree of credence for basically saying I wouldn't look at a thing and thereby encouraging you to look at a thing. But I'm glad you liked it. A tower full of mice. Yeah, this quest. Yeah. This'll help make me up. Whoop. No, we're good. Use Kira's boat. Okay, fine. I'll use... Hang on, let me get in the boat. Hey, I found the boat. Yeah. Whew, good thing I got this boat going. Whew. I mean, I'd have to swim without this boat. There we go. Now that I've used the boat... Why am I swimming? I'm pretty sure the answer to that question is already self-apparent, but,
Geralt?
guess it isn't.
Does the Xenovox work? Can you hear me?
What? I can't hear. Great, broke already. Sheesh, short-lived this magic.
What did you say? There's some interference. You must be very careful.
Stupid drowners, go away. That's true, I did swim across, so it's probably my fault the Vox isn't working correctly. Rot fiends are the worst. Rot fiends are the worst. That's not true, but I do think rot fiends are probably the worst trash encounter in this game, my opinion. Even when playing without, you know, doom damage. Grab that. There we go. Stay away from the flies. Alright, so. What do we got here? Nice place. Oh, we'll meet that later, Baron. Don't worry. Don't jump ahead. God, we're still in the beginning of the game. We're still in Velen. We haven't hit Novigrad yet. Let's see. Nothing interesting in here.
Let's try Keira's land.
Where's that noble? Lying here, quiet as a mouse, head split open like a rotted pumpkin. More like a peasant now, sloshing around in his own blood and shite. Be nothing noble about him. Too quick a death they gave him. Should have been made to suffer. He's not the end of it. Sons can suffer for him, and the daughter. To the top!
You know, I feel like I've ranted so much in my life about sins of the father and that concept and how much I hate that concept. I don't even know what else to add to it at this point. At this point, I might as well just say sins of the father. Moving on.
Don't start, Annabelle. Back to your craft. Always bending my ear about fool peasants. I'll not hear of them again. That simpleton turned your head. But one Graham hardly makes the rest courtly, one and all.
My lord, peasants. They're through the door in the tower.
I've been guided by an invisible voice to go down instead of up. Down I shall go. Down, down, down.
Rich folk. Doubt I'll ever understand them. Keeping rats in cages like rabbits.
Let them out, maybe? Like to die of hunger if we leave them there.
I'd sooner burn the vermin. Releasing them's not like to bring no good. Imagine the harm they'd do if they swam back to the village.
Swam? Rats? How do you figure they'd do that?
You needn't fret for them. Clever little bastards. Clever than you.
They seem sluggish to you. Got the mange, maybe? Oh, and that stench!
What are you talking about, Huthor? The peasants are the oppressed people who are always in the right and can do no wrong. Oh, I thought there was a thing there. Oh, well. I also love a tiny little anecdote. This is probably me extrapolating too much, but Keira mentions how she doesn't want to go here because the amount of magic here hurts her. But as we know, the only real reason there's a lot of magic... Well, there's two reasons. It's because of the mage who is doing experiments here, and because of the massive curse that's on the area. But surely she's encountered areas with massive curses before, right? Put simply, I like to think that the majority of the reason she doesn't want to come here is because this is a tower filled to the brim with rats. And we know her reaction to rats. The game gave us an entire cutscene dedicated towards it. Hey, Phoenix Eldari. Also, can I just say how clever of a way this is to do cutscenes? So, before this next cutscene starts, just in brief, for those of you who have never heard me talk about this, there's 3 general categorizations of cutscenes when it comes to video games. Pre-rendered, in-engine, and in-gameplay. Pre-rendered is obvious. Pre-rendered is a file. You hit play, it plays. You pause it, it pauses. It's something that has nothing to do with the game. It was rendered on a server farm by CGI engines or whatever, right? Sometimes it's live action, sometimes it's animated, sometimes it's CGI. But no matter what it is, it's something that is done completely separate of the game. Then you have Wilson. Now, Wilson is done in-engine. So, basically, that's when the control is taken away from the player, so your hands are off keyboard, and events still progress. We've seen plenty of those in this very game. You could argue, for example, that some of the intro bits during the tutorial, when we were still in the dream sequence, that was another example of in-engine. A lot of games do in-engine cutscenes. Yeah, StarCraft 2 is a fantastic example of in-engine cutscenes. But then there's in-gameplay cutscenes. An in-gameplay cutscene is when the cutscene is happening, but you still have full control of what's happening. You can still wander around and act silly and spin in a circle if you want to, no matter how serious or somber the cutscene actually is, because there's still gameplay happening. Now, this is all, the majority of this is in gameplay cutscenes, which I think works excellently and helps. Basically, I feel like in gameplay cutscenes are misused, or more accurately, not used as well as they should be. Because in gameplay cutscenes have tremendous potential for drawing the player into the events, but usually they're just done cheaply. In fact, half the time, in gameplay cutscenes are actually done badly, to the point where if you screw something up or if you do something in the wrong way, you literally miss part of the cutscene. Either you skip dialogue because you move forward too quickly. How many times have we seen that? Or, you know, you're not looking the right way so you don't see what happens or whatever, right? So, basically, in my opinion, more creative directing and effort needs to be put into designing an in-gameplay cutscene. And I think that's one of the reasons why most games don't really lean on that too heavily. Since an in-game cutscene is something that leans on both story and gameplay, and therefore requires a good game director and a good story director in order to make it work properly, right? Whereas an in-engine cutscene, all that requires is a good story director. Does that make any sense? Anyways, thank you very much, Wilson. As always, appreciate the sub. Thank you. Now, I have 2 questions for you. First, do you know what you want to put that towards? Second, do you know what you want to put the rest of it towards? You actually donated money towards a game that has since been axed off the list, and I've been hoping for you to pop back in for a bit now. So, you actually have more money to redistribute if you would like to. Hi, Czar.
Gold! Piles of it! Oh, won't do the dead any good now, will it? Strange it's still here. The noble died a time ago. Who's that? Show yourself. Anyone there?
No.
Who are you?
So you notice he's not a skeleton. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if I kind of tilt the light a little bit better, you can kind of see that he's a relatively recent corpse. As opposed to most of the dead here who are down to just bones. And notice she's been running from us this entire time. Hello, Pocket Jasmine. Welcome to my stream. As you are probably already aware, you are more than welcome to share, chat, talk, interact, tell me how much you hate me. I like interacting with stream. I like interacting with viewers. So if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, you are more than welcome to. Either way, hi. Sacrifice. God damn it. Alright, hang on, guys. We gotta pause the stream. Give me a minute. Never even heard of this game. Came out in the year 2000, apparently. By a company I've never heard of. Oh my gosh. Apparently Tim Curry's in it. Oh god. It's actually a game based on the Messiah engine. Oh jeez. Okay. It's random, Magister. Alright, no, Loner. So, here's the deal, Wilson. I'm going to go ahead and jot that down, but I'm not going to commit to it, and I'm going to explain why in just a second. Right after I write this down. So that's... that. Okay. And I can now jot this down here, take you off the redistribute list. Okay. So, thank you, Wilson. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much for the subs. Much appreciated as always. Now, I want to explain why I'm not going to commit to that yet. I'm not going to put that into the website. Any game, and especially any PC game from about 94 to about 2003 or 4 has issues running on modern computers. Now, maybe I'll be able to get this running. I have no idea. But unless I can, I'm not going to commit to it. Does that make sense? So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go buy the game and then see if I can get it working. And then if I can get it working, then I'll go ahead and add it to the website. For example, someone recently donated like $25 to playing Star Trek Borg. And I could not get that game running. And I tried for some time to get it running. And it was just like... So I had to say no. Because I literally couldn't get the game to run. So you see the problem. So... Thank you very much, Wilson. I have jotted that down. I'll try to get that running probably tonight, because I want to actually take a nap today, because I am exhausted. Do I own it? Well, there's only one way to check that. That would be to do this. Let's see. No, S. Why are you so stupid? Sacrifice. I apparently do own this game on Steam. Yeah, I'll go and install it really quick. In the background, like you do. And then the stream goes chop, 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 chop. Wow, that's going to take a minute to download. That is slow. I need a Borg computer, apparently. And yeah, I could try it on GOG as well. Like I said, I have options. It's just, that's my point. Until I verify for real, in action, on my computer, live, that I can get it working, I don't commit to that kind of thing. And no, I have not, Tsar. I should probably wait for this download to finish. I can't believe it's taken this long. It's 700 megs. Hurry up. Let's go. I figured it would be done half a minute ago. There. Okay.
Where are you? Have you got to the laboratory at the top of the tower yet?
I'm at the top. Nothing here that looks like a laboratory.
Then you've not reached the highest level. Look for a passage.
I'm just glad these torches light up when I hit them with the lamp. It's a nice touch, you know? I mean, could you imagine? If you guys really want me to go outside, I'll go outside. Hang on. Okay, I am outside. I already hit the basement.
Millie, we gotta flee. Quick now. Millie! Millie, what's with you?
I don't know. So what?
Burning. Ah! What?
No. Millie.
Hang on.
Millie, we gotta flee. Quick now. Millie. Millie, what's with ye?
I don't know. So, burning. Ah!
What? No. No, stay back.
Don't leave me.
Good question, Wilson.
They're onto us. They're not letting Graham in.
Quiet, fool. Babylon and the noble himself will hear you.
Nah, he sat his arse on silk pillows, likely be gobbling meat. We've no notion he's coming to tear him to shreds.
Way's clear, lads. Adam!
Well, I hope you like it, Phoenix Eldari. Now, to my knowledge, based solely on the games, we don't really know the status of the afterlife in this setting, or if there is one at all. It is kept exceptionally vague.
They left us, look!
Shit.
Do you mind?
They left us, look! All of them done went!
We've to swim, come on!
What about all this? I can't leave it! You go. Find a boat and come back for me. If you make it across.
Ha! Why wouldn't I? Be back before you know it.
Hi, Ignis. Ah! Yes, Tigzar. Everything is awesome. Hello, Flavi Feels. Hello, Shadow Machine. This is secretly the Flash. Geralt was always the Flash. I mean, you saw how fast he was in BVS, didn't you? In what is actually one of the best scenes in that film. Even despite how stupid it is.
Looks like a laboratory. Pretty well equipped, too.
Why did you leave? You claimed to love me. I'm cold. Why has no one come for me? I cannot leave this place. I see no way out. Who are you? Do you seek to hurt me as well?
One of the things I always find interesting is that Geralt almost always comes across in the same way when it comes to these kind of ghosts or witches or wraiths. Sorry, not witches. Wraiths, ghosts, dead. Sympathetic, but wary, excuse me. As in, trying to stay... Basically, he understands and respects exactly how dangerous and terrifying these creatures can be, but he also understands that for the most part there's not a lot of malice involved, and therefore, you know, he comes across as more human to it. It's a nice balance point he manages.
Don't be afraid. I want to lift the curse that grips this island. Your turn to tell me who you are. The other ghosts, they couldn't see me.
I'm special. Always was. The rare beauty. The Lord's daughter. These lands, as far as the eye can see, were ours. My family and I, we hid in the Mage's Tower to await the war's end, the end of hard times. It was not to be forever.
Mage who lived here. Who was he?
Alexander? I hardly knew him. He spent most of his time locked away in this tower. He's dead too, you know. They're all dead. Mountains of corpses, yet I stand here alone, all alone. They've all abandoned me. Even he who promised me everlasting love. You will abandon me as well.
If I can lift the curse, you yourself will be free to leave.
There's also a subtle point that I want to point out. They like to direct some scenes slightly differently to emphasize tone of the scene. A good example here is, I don't know the proper term for it, but it's the very slow zoom in or zoom out. So the camera's moving, zooming in or zooming out, but it's such at a slow rate you barely even notice that it's happening. But it does add a little bit of motion to the scene and makes it seem just a little bit more unreal. You'll also notice that in virtually every shot we've been having here, there's been rats in the picture, too. Rats in the frame, I should say.
Tell me what happened here. Peasants sailed to the island to ask for food. Is that true?
No. They came to rob and kill. They thought us rich, believed we'd stowed ourselves away here to laugh at their misery. Yet we had little food as well. Too little to share with those who came. They slaughtered everyone. I heard my father cry out, but the mage told me not to reveal myself or let anyone in. He gave me a potion. If I was discovered, I was to drink it. He said everything would be all right.
What kind of potion was it? Remember its smell? What it looked like?
I remember only that I feared to drink it.
Didn't trust the mage?
In the village, they claimed he meddled in disease. Not curing it, but causing it. They said he lured rats into the tower, infected them with the Catriona. Only rumors, surely, but I was afraid. So horribly afraid. And then I heard him. My beloved Graham. He called to me. I opened the door for him, but others rushed in. They lunged at me and...
Now, I'm going to double check this, but I'm almost positive that I'm right. Yep, nope, I am right. Catriona is the bubonic plague.
Your beloved failed to save you. Why?
There were too many. Leave her be, he shouted. He grabbed at them, tried to stop them. They just laughed.
Did they hurt you?
They gripped my arms, tore at my dress. I managed to free myself and drink the potion, and then... nothing.
Poisoned? That how you died?
No, for I later awoke. I was alone, it was dark. Only there were rats. Everywhere. Dozens. Hundreds. And Couldn't move.
Sleeping potion. Effects hadn't worn off yet. You were paralyzed.
They were everywhere. All over me like insects. My face, my hands. I felt them rip open my skin, then crawl into my stomach. They tore me apart, and I could not even scream. Have I not suffered enough? Why can't I leave this place?
Yeah, I don't even have anything to add to that. That's one of the more horrible deaths I can imagine. At least in a setting like this. Now, this is also a good time to mention something. I've mentioned before how curses can happen even from a mundane source because of the nature of how they're different from magic. This is probably one of the more obvious examples of that. There's a couple other examples in this game, but just the sheer horrific nature of her death is pretty much the main reason why this place was cursed. There's a couple other variables, of course, but, well, if you consider that, and you consider how medieval this world is, it's probably no surprise then that there are curses everywhere. That they're basically a common concept. I mean, think about it. If anything, it is actually somewhat surprising that this world is not bathed in curses.
You weren't the last to die on this island. Found a fresh corpse in the tower.
The island's a dangerous place. Folks should not venture here. I too wish to leave.
The dead man. Looked like a monster had attacked him, recently. The tower home to anything else?
How am I to know? There's lots of wraiths here. I hear them whispering every night.
Not talking about ghosts. A monster who hunts here. You must have noticed something.
I don't know. I've noticed naught. Why do you ask? Why must you press me so? You're to be my savior, not my tormentor.
Can you talk to the island's other specters?
No, I'm alone here. The others, they flee when they see me. I know not why. You do not fear me, do you?
No. Used to dealing with ghosts. Though, gotta admit, there's something about you. You're different.
And of course, the first twist here is that she's the thing we're hunting. Sorry, spoiler. But,
how can I help you?
A curse born of hatred binds me to this place. Only love's power can hope to lift it. But who could love a wraith?
And your beloved, he dead too?
Graham? No, he lives. I would know if he died. But he fled and abandoned me. Left me here all alone.
Maybe you could strip the curse of its power by forgiving him. You might cleanse the Isle. Your beloved, who is he? A noble son?
No, a poor fisherman. My father objected, strongly. He did not see us together. I miss him so. Each night I walk to the island shore to gaze upon the village. Does he remember me still?
Said before you can't leave the tower.
Did I? You must have misheard.
I don't think so.
I don't know anymore. It's all a nightmare to me.
As I see it, you're the curse's focus. The other ghosts on the island, their auras aren't nearly as strong as yours. My medallion started pulsating as soon as we started talking.
I don't know what you mean, but you do seem to know some things. You could be right. My fate is tied to the Isle, I feel that. Perhaps because I am heiress of these lands.
It could be your blood ties to the land, the base of the curse, that is. If so, forgiving Graham, laying your resentment to rest should lift it.
I loved him. I'm prepared to forgive him. But I must know that he regrets what he did. Take my bones to him. He must bury them. This will be our farewell. Will you speak to him? Will you do this for me?
Fine. I'll talk to Graham. Where will I find him?
He lives in the village on the lakeshore, yet... What if he's forgotten me?
If he loved you, he'll remember. And want to help.
He said he would always love me. Go to him. Make haste, please.
Hang on, I need to double check something. That's what I thought. Give me just 1 second, guys. I actually want to talk about the construction of this quest, because, well, this is, in my opinion, one of the more memorable side quests in the entire game. Okay, that's what I thought. Right here. Okay, we're good.
Don't... Oh. Make... If... What didn't... Did boy slip... Huh? And you... Babe... At my... Ick... I'll come back for you.
Set up a separate save there. So now we're going to load the quick save. Hello, Nerozaz. Someone mentioned the idea of what would happen if, you know, a World War I or whatever were to come to be into being in this setting, and I find myself admittedly rather curious about that. Based on my limited knowledge about the setting, though, it is the nature of the world itself that allows such a thing as such rules magic to exist. The freaking chair. Oh my god, the chair. Ergo, the idea is that it doesn't matter how technologically advanced the world is. It doesn't matter what era it's at, historically speaking. There would still be curses, in short. Whoops, too far down. This is for you, Sonic. This is for you. That's true, Loner. To my knowledge, there is no such thing, but then again, oh.
I don't want to see no one.
You've got to!
Just leave me be.
Why you been following me?
Just wondering what you want from him. From Graham.
Me? Didn't want nothing. It's his mother be worried about him. Been locked in his hut since he came back from the Isle. Talks to no soul. Love's misery curdled his brains, I reckon.
Thank you very much. A pack of 12 ninjas. Ah, thank you very much. A pack of 12 ninjas. As always, much appreciate that support. Thank you. Do you know what you want to put that towards?
Whip your arse.
I want to talk.
You deaf, damn it! I told you. Who are you?
I've been to the island. I know what happened there.
What do you want of me?
I want you to die!
Want to talk to you about Annabelle.
Annabelle? What can you know about her?
I met her. Talked to her.
Annabelle's dead. Drank poison. And I couldn't save her.
Did you love her?
I Something mad. Loved her so deep I believed we'd come through, believed we'd be together. Of course, it was not to her father's liking. His daughter and a plain lout.
It's true, you are pathetic. I mean, he's not even of noble birth. And I mean, if he didn't come out of the right vagina, how could he possibly be worthy of her? So noted, and thank you, a pack of 12 ninjas.
What happened on Fyke Isle? You gotta tell me.
'Twere Millie, Finch and Faulkner. They rallied the men, all roughs, to go to the Isle, take back what was ours from the noble. They knew I was known at the tower, that the Lord's servants would open the gate for me soon as I sold them fish.
They forced you to go with them?
No, I saw my chance in it, for Annabelle and me to flee. But it all spun into chaos. Our boys from the village, they started killing everyone. Annabelle, they wanted to rape. First, then she drank the poison. Mage must have gave it her. I ran out the tower, hollering that I wanted to die, cursing them all to hell. Don't force me to speak of it. No more, please.
So in case you're missing the construction of the situation, a bunch of nobles, who were not well off, were accosted by a bunch of peasants, who were not well off, aided by a peasant who just wanted to get with his love, who couldn't really be with him because of a difference of division. Oh, and mostly unrelated to this, but also kind of the crux of the whole thing, there was a mage centered on a place of power doing experiments on the bubonic plague. This is what you call a domino situation here.
Said you were hollering as you fled the tower, the island. What exactly did you say?
I don't remember. I wanted them to pay for what they'd done to her.
Might have cursed them. There's a powerful magic aura on Fyke Isle. Passions, evil intent, strong emotions of any kind can activate it. Your words could be the curse's source.
She took the poison because of them.
It wasn't poison. Annabelle drank a strong sleeping potion. Mage wanted to protect her, make it look like she was dead. Convinced everyone.
That means... Is she... You said you spoke to her?
Spoke to her ghost. By the time she awoke, tower was full of cold corpses. And rats. She was warm meat. Rats ate her alive.
She was alive the whole time? But... Can't be. She was cold all through like a corpse. I shook her, begged her, open your eyes. I never thought...
It's exactly what it sounds like, Taito.
It's not your fault. No guilt in not knowing, and you couldn't know it wasn't poison she drank.
Gods, what have I done? If I had stayed behind to bury her, I didn't notice she was alive. It might have ended different, ended well.
If you'd stayed on the island, I doubt you'd have survived.
I'd take death over leaving her to the rats like that. But there's naught I can do about it now.
Wrong on that count.
Oh yeah, while we're on the subject, here's another horrible thought of the day for you. What if he had stayed behind and buried her? Just picture it for a minute. Picture her waking up in the middle of that.
Annabelle needs you. Her soul will only find peace if you help her.
But what can I do? It's too late.
Bury her bones. Annabelle should be laid to rest by one who loved her. It's the only way to lift the curse that holds Fyke Isle.
Those are... her bones?
Yes.
Give them here. And leave me be.
I mean, that is better than the rats, that is true. Well, we did it! We lifted the curse! Yay! Happy ending for all. Whew! Thank goodness. Hey, did you hear something? I thought I heard something.
Annabelle was no ordinary ghost. She's a pesta. And now she's free.
Well, shoot. So that's one possible ending. I want to talk about the by the way, notice the rats. I want to talk about the construction of this quest. It's actually... I don't know... I do like this quest, but I have to admit that it's debatable that this could be considered bad design, because of how it basically tricks the player. It even tricks the player in a fairly intelligent way. What it does is it effectively presents a facade that hides a lie. In other words, this is a fairly common trick when it comes to trying to trick someone. It's when you obfuscate so that people notice the obfuscation, but the thing you are obfuscating itself is in fact a lie. And you never even mention the actual truth, so nobody pays attention to it, so nobody actually does anything about it, right? Everything about the construction of how she was talking to us, everything... No, I do not like coffee, strangely enough. Everything about the way that she was talking made it very clear that there was something up with her, and that she was effectively lying to us or deceiving us, and thus giving us the impression that she is the villain of this affair, or that there's something wrong with her. And yeah, again, this goes back to the voice acting, which is just continuing to be awesome in this game. So you can go forward with what she wanted you to do. I think it's this one. Or you could try to just kill her, which I'm not going to show on camera, but that's the other option. The second of three options is that you can just and fight her, and that's the end of that. That was the one I got the first time, by the way, because I was like, no way, you're evil. Now, if I'm not mistaken... I wasn't able to see much of it, no, James Hogan.
All have left me.
But if I had to pick a favorite moment... Oh, jeez. I don't know. There were some good runs. Well, since this is not main quest, Wilson, that should answer your question. I don't remember how to do this. So I'm going to have to look this up. I actually don't remember how to do this. This is why this isn't a lore run. At this point, Taitu, never. This is as close as we're ever getting. Okay. Yeah, apparently I need to literally walk out of the tower normally. I just looked it up. I am actually amused that jumping out doesn't trigger it. I'm legitimately amused by that. You'll notice I could have survived that legitimately without cheats. It was just a rolling land. That would have hurt like hell, but I could have done it.
When will this nightmare end?
That's strange. Yep, I've been killed because I'm a non-coffee drinker. Sorry, guys. Okay, come on. Let's go. I'm not even jumping down like I really want to. This is me leaving normally. Oh, this isn't an exit. Or is it? Nope, not an exit. Oh, come on. There we go. There are 3 endings to this quest, yes. And I'm going for the 3rd ending, which, as I mentioned earlier, doesn't really have anything indicating how to do it. Which is probably the reason why I mentioned that it's not, you know, perfect. Really?
Blood. Many must have died here.
Nah. How do I leave legitimately? Maybe it's this one?
What's with the door?
Ah, for God's sake. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we have to interact with the door. That's the trigger.
No more lies. No more deceit.
You got it.
You will stay here for all time. You will never leave.
Damn it. Gotta catch them. Not good.
You cannot kill me. You know this. What was that? It sounded for a moment like you joined the raids yourself.
Had to fight a pester.
A pester? And did you learn how to lift the curse before you lunged at her, sword in hand?
Yeah, we talked a bit. Looks like I need to get her beloved to the island. Fisherman named Graham.
I know the man. He lives in Oriton, village on the lakeshore. Find him immediately. We're close to unraveling this. I can feel it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Taitu. GP means gameplay positive. GN means gameplay negative. SP means story positive, and SN means story negative.
Graham, let me in. I told you I don't want to see no one. You've got to. Just leave me be.
Why you been... Just make...
I want to talk.
You deaf, damn it! I told you. Who are you?
I've been to the island. I know what happened there.
What do you want of me?
So, I forget when this cutscene diverges, so we're just gonna let this play out normally.
Want to talk to you about Annabelle.
Annabelle? What can you know about her?
I met her. Talked to her.
Annabelle's dead. Drank poison. And I couldn't save her.
Did you love her?
Something mad. Loved her so deep I believed we'd come through, believed we'd be together. Of course, it was not to her father's liking. His daughter and a plain lout.
What happened on Fyke Isle? You gotta tell me.
'Twere Millie, Finch and Faulkner. They rallied the men, all roughs, to go to the Isle, take back what was ours from the noble. They knew I was known at the tower, that the Lord's servants would open the gate for me, seeing as I sold them fish.
They forced you to go with them?
No, I saw my chance in it, for Annabelle and me to flee. But it all spun in a chaos. Our boys from the village, they started killing everyone. Annabelle, they wanted to rape. 'Twas then she drank the poison. Mage must have gave it her. I ran out the tower, hollering that I wanted to die, cursing them all to hell. Don't force me to speak of it. No more, please.
It wasn't poison. Annabelle drank a strong sleeping potion. Mage wanted to protect her, make it look like she was dead. Convinced everyone.
But that means... You said you spoke to her?
Spoke to her ghost. By the time she awoke, tower was full of cold corpses. And rats. She was warm meat. Rats ate her alive.
You mean... she was alive the whole time? But... can't be. She was cold all through like a corpse. I shook her, begged her, open your eyes. I never thought...
Annabelle needs you. You can help her.
She's still there. In the tower. Can I see her?
Yeah. One thing you should know, though. In death, Annabelle turned into a pester.
A pester? What's that?
More than a restless ghost, a plague maiden, a powerful wraith filled with grief and hatred that drive her. Give her the power to sow disease and death.
She suffers. How am I to help her? Gods know I'm willing.
Annabelle thinks you abandoned her.
Gods! She hates me. And all this time she's thought I abandoned her.
Yes, go to the tower, talk to her. Maybe you can convince her that's not how it was.
I thought she died. I'd never left her there otherwise.
A curse has imprisoned Annabelle and the other spirits on the island. Love can shatter its power, free her and them.
Just as in the legends.
If you know the legends, you know one kiss is enough to break an evil spell. On one condition. That it's a kiss from someone whose love is true.
I told you. I said I love her with all my heart. Take me to her, please.
It's dangerous. There are risks involved. Understand that, don't you?
Of course. I'm no coward. I'll not run this time.
Nothing. Let's go.
I'm ready.
Let's go to the tower.
So,
I've waited long enough.
Last I came through here, I still hoped Annabelle and me would... It weren't impossible. We could have been together, and now she's dead. And it's my fault. If only I'd been able to protect her.
It's all your fault, dude.
But you can still help Annabelle to move on, to rest in peace.
It's terrifying here. It's too quiet.
Chop, chop. Speed up. Let's get this over with.
I remember the screams. Inhuman they were. Now it's silent. They're dead. All dead.
Don't think about that. Keep walking.
No, it would have worked out great, Corrales. They would have lived happily ever after. Can I just go ahead and mention how wonderful the audio design is here, which is rare since this game usually has bad audio design. The music is a very low, simple tone, hardly any melody, with just a long, endless note that's repeating, carrying out the tension. There's occasional creaks of the wood, there's the occasional like movements of metal or stone, and then you can just hear the rats squeaking everywhere.
You have not forgotten. You've returned for me.
Oh, welcome. Pay close attention. Hopefully you'll learn something.
Thank you, Duncan. I wanted to pause because this is kind of an awesome cutscene. Didn't want to interrupt it, but thank you very, very much. As ever. Much appreciate the donation. Thank you. Do you know what you want to put that towards? Taitu, bad audio design is very simple to explain. Let me try to demonstrate bad audio design really quick. So this is the kind of what we usually describe as bad audio design, when it can barely be audible underneath the music, which is just kind of playing in the background. So you can barely hear what's going on, and I'm just talking about this. That's bad audio design. Very easy and very simple to explain. Audio design is all about the nature of how you balance audio with regards to other audio. And now, bad audio direction, that's a little bit more variable. That depends a little bit more on opinion and preference. but there's a lot of demonstrably bad audio design in this game. Again, most notably because of the whole "what?" problem.
Is that?
Don't you recognize him? It's me, Annabelle. The one you abandoned, remember?
I was sure you was dead. If I'd known otherwise, I'd never have left you. I'd do anything for you. I would. You know that well. Believe me, I beg you.
Prove it. Kiss me.
Graham, careful.
No, hazardous. I think Geralt knew, but I don't think he knew what was about to happen.
At last.
The curse is lifted, and Graham and Annabelle are reunited.
A happy ending for everyone. So obviously this quest deserves, I'm thinking 7 negatives, maybe 8. 8 negatives might be valid. You know. What do you guys think?
Experimenting on humans. Never would have gotten away with it if the Conclave were still in charge.
So yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but now that we have proper lighting, you can see that there's bodies. Human bodies, to be more clear, in these vats. Hang on. Jeez. My experiments continue to return results I must consider unreliable. Methodological errors are not at fault. The problem lies in the shoddy and fallible research material I'm forced to work with. Despite his prior assurance, Zerod is unable to provide me with enough moderately healthy specimens for my tests. Most of the material is starved and terrified, having been dragged here straight from a dungeon. I waste a great deal of time daily washing and delousing them before I will so much as let them step foot into my laboratory. Sterility first. As Marty Sodergren managed to prove in her little-known work, the attitude of a patient undergoing treatment can have significant impact on the battle against the disease. Unfortunately, the volunteers with which I am supplied do not show sufficient comprehension, let alone enthusiasm, for the noble work in which they are taking part. In fact, they seem to consider research part of their punishment. I have tried a few times, though I am but a poor speaker, to convince them they are contributing to the eradication of one of the greatest plagues tormenting mankind. I had the distinct impression they understood little. Perhaps their stupor was merely a result of the early stages of the illness. Of course, it is impossible to achieve success without significant sacrifices. The overwhelming majority of them will have to lay down their trifling lives on the altar of learning, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Death to humans, and to the living. No, this is actually worse than... Well, I'm sorry, better than Mangala. Sorry, wrong direction. But I don't want to talk about that. Day 346. never liked rats. Not because of their obscene tales, but rather on account of their lively, disturbing intelligence. They're always listening when a man believes he is talking only to himself, and what's worse, they seem to understand. A few days ago, I caught myself talking to one of them, a particularly large black male with a torn-off ear. At first I was overcome by panic. Was this a first manifestation of the illness? Of course that was impossible. I had fortified my immunity with powerful spells, and I don't even know what a flea is. Upon further consideration, I concluded it was an altogether natural reflex, one even the most learned amongst us find it hard to restrain. We mages like to be listened to. That's true. I placed the black rat in a separate cage. The time will come for it to play a part in the tests. Meanwhile, it can keep me company and observe. I've noticed it looking with great concentration at the cages of its infected brethren, particularly those in the last stages of the illness. Fascinating. Speaking of company, I have none, besides the black rat, and cannot hope for better. Viserad avoids the laboratory and has expressed his desire for his daughter to steer clear of them as well. At first I thought he feared a moral scandal, which would be risible in the extreme. But he explained the true reason in due course. It seems Annabelle has always possessed a frail psychic constitution. Observing the ill might throw her into foul humours. The peasants taking part in the study have stopped speaking to me. I don't know what they believe this little act of defiance will serve. It does me no harm. They're made for lousy conversation partners. There remains, of course, the woman, but as for her, I try to limit my contact. Day 362. My black rat died. Today I found him curled up in his cage. I suspected he had become infected on accident, but during the autopsy I did not discover any signs of illness. He was also perfectly well fed. Strange. From a medical point of view, his death remains unexplained, something which I must admit irritates the scholar in me. But as mentioned previously, I'm not particularly fond of rats. Notice the music's changed, by the way. Hey, she had a potion vial on her. Dark humor. Is that it? There should be like one more, I think. God, I can barely see where I'm going.
Kept in there until the end. What a shitty way to die.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, James Hogan, there's only one route to take with Keira. All other routes are unacceptable. Is that not gonna... God, I really can't see worth a damn. Hang on a second. Oh, there we go. Sheesh. I might have to get the mod that allows me to have a torch equipped, even when I don't have it equipped. Because, holy God, some of these areas are just dark. This does not feel safe for some reason. I mean, I could drop from there. Yeah, I hate cat potions. Screw cat potions. Patuh, I say. Patuh! Too fast. Is that it? I guess that's it. Alright, whatever. Down we go. I thought there was like one more, but obviously I am wrong. Whatever. Let's go talk to Keira. And hopefully not get her killed. Hopefully, hopefully. Ah, I screwed it up. Come on, up. Hey, what's up, Jonga? What's the extent of this playthrough? Good question. Since this is a side quest, that should actually answer your question for you. Oh, now? Now there's someone here.
We're doomed! You's the one brought soured wine. Curse is your fault as much as mine.
An illusion. What are you doing here?
What? The sun flying from the moon? We're making offerings to the All-God, clearly.
You too can seek his aid. That's if you've got fitting offerings. He scorned ours, then cursed the old village.
Ah, this one.
The All-God, you call him. First I've heard. Is some new deity?
Nay, 'tis ancient, revered by our forefathers. They say it were like this. Roslav of Oriton came here to gather brushwood, and suddenly, for no reason, a bush burst into flame. Then, Roslav heard a voice from the ground, demanding offerings and obedience.
We've been coming here since then, bearing gifts, in exchange for which the All-God watches over us, keeps us from evil.
Mm-hmm. Plain to see that. So, what's wrong with your offerings?
You needn't mock us, you can see right well we brought scraps. Before the war, I wouldn't give this such to me hounds. But what can we do? Such are the times.
And they're like to get worse. All-God said if he don't get a rafter of bacon and a barrel of beer at least, the rivers will fill up with frogs and locusts or some such will devour the harvest.
I could intercede on your behalf with this All-God of yours. Got a feeling we'd come to an understanding.
Well, I suppose it can't hurt to try. To speak with him, you have to stand before the altar and cry out, All-God, help a poor wretch in need. Who knows, he might just listen to a foreigner.
That's my point, though, James Hogan. The mere fact that I was doing a side quest should answer your question for you. Segue for a moment here and do this.
Oh, All-God, help a poor wretch in need. Pretty please.
How dare you disturb my divine rest, mortal?
I dare disturb it because I want your divine self to lift the, curse you cast. Those peasants really don't have.
They must bring worthy offerings or they shall face drought, driving hail, earthquakes, avalanches. I have spoken.
Avalanches? Here? How would that work?
I was just thinking something similar. This is flat terrain. Thank you very much, Trimmer Rage. As always, much appreciated. Thank you. Do you know what you want to put that sub towards for a future stream?
No answer from the All-God. Fine. We can finish our conversation when I find him. Voice came from underground. Wine. Or more like vinegar. Someone drank it anyway. Could follow the scent.
Because it's an avalanche, Micromano. How do you have an avalanche over a plain? Like plains, you know? I mean, with enough magical power, you could probably make that happen, but that would be a hell of an impressive sight.
Ought to use it.
At that point, it probably wouldn't actually be an avalanche, though. It would just be, you know, a bunch of rocks skating across the ground.
What? Who dares disturb my divine being?
Hi.
Geralt of Rivia. Pleasure. Expected the All-God to be corporeal in form, but never thought he'd be corpulent. Fattened up nicely at those peasants' expense.
Expense? Expense? Not a word about the help I give in return. blessings, absolutions, enlightened advice. Believe me, these folks need all of it. I'd watch over them still if they fulfilled their end. But lately they offer these pathetic scraps.
That they steal from the mouths of their children, and to make matters worse, you cast a curse on them.
And I'll not lift it till they bring me worthy offerings. I'm to settle for curds and whey? Not a chance. And you can tell them that.
I mean, I could just kill you. I like killing people like him. It's very enjoyable to me. It's how I unwind, you know, after a long day of work. 6. Jotting down streamer rages, donations, working on the website, you know, streaming, recording YouTube videos. I like to relax and kill idiots like you.
Been in this hole long?
For a century or so. One winter I found shelter here. Built a fire so large the flames leapt through the crack, lit the bushes above. I coughed from the smoke, and suddenly heard a peasant. A voice out of nowhere, he called. A miracle. Thus, I became a god.
Parasite, more like.
Maybe so. But what of Freya and Melitele then, hmm? Demanding prayers and offerings, given naught in return? I talk at least.
I mean, that's fair enough. But the harsh reality is that he is demanding food and stuff from them when they have no food to give. Like, it's not like this is trying to break the legs of a poor man because he literally can't pay his debt kind of a situation, right? And you guys know what I think about leg breakers.
Got an idea how to resolve this. I'll just kill you.
You think this is a jest, mortal? Whosoever looks upon my godliness must die!
Okay. He said it, not me. Well, now that he's dead.
Anything new?
Got good news. Your god's dead. It was actually a run-of-the-mill monster, sentient but mean. Took advantage of you. You went hungry, while it grew new chins.
What have you done? The old god warned us. Said if he ever departed, death would await us all. Come on, Tribor. We must tell the others. Only group prayer can save us now.
Peasants. We don't want to think about that, Taito. We really don't. So what you're saying is we have to kill the crones too, huh?
Geralt, just when I was starting to miss you.
Fyke Isle's free of its curse.
Able to persuade Graham to go to the tower with you? Did you mention there was a pester involved?
He knew the risks, but he'd also heard lots of stories about true love, whose kiss can break any spell. Can't help thinking that gave him courage.
And? It ended well?
Depends how you look at it. Curse is lifted, Annabelle's spirit is left in peace. But Graham's dead.
Oh, poor boy. Still, he's proved that true love may be more common than some suppose.
The lamp. What do you want to do with it?
As I said, you may keep it. I don't believe I shall need it anymore, given the Isle's been cleansed. I actually regret not going there with you. Perhaps we can make up for that lost time now.
One thing's bothering me.
What?
Annabelle said Alexander was studying diseases. She mentioned Catriona. You knew this?
All the mages knew about it. Alexander was a highly regarded epidemiologist. I would have given anything for an opportunity to study his notes, but he guarded them
All right. Time I was on my way.
Perhaps you'd stay just a bit longer? There's one small favor you might yet do for me.
What is it?
I put in an order for a few substances from Novigrad. The trader was due to be here yesterday, but has yet to arrive. Could you see what happened? The package is rather important to me.
Why not? If he was coming here from Novigrad, he must have passed through Blackbow. I'll check the area.
Thank you. I shall be ever so grateful.
Can I admit one other reason I'm irritated by her dress? Just, this is the last time I'm going to mention it, by the way. It's because what I tend to do when I'm playing these games is I tend to read the dialogue in the subtitles before I actually listen to what they're saying. So if anybody's ever watching me, you may notice my eyes just drop down every time a new bit of dialogue happens, because I'm just reading the dialogue really quick before they say it. About 90% of her dialogue is right here. Irritates the hell out of me. Where's... There it is. And you guys are horrible, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So, Django earlier mentioned that I missed a village that was in need. So I'm going to go ahead and admit something. I didn't even notice it. When I'm doing this, I'm actually paying a lot of attention on making sure I don't run into things. Not because I have to, because, you know, I'm invincible and all that. But because it's fun. It's actually really fun to go full tilt and try very hard not to run into things. Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I heard a quick comment of, as I was running by, but I barely paid attention to it. Okay, never mind. We're cool. We're cool. Hello.
Wide, heavy wheels. Merchant's wagon.
I mean, yeah, it's the Return of the Jedi thing. Which is something I always enjoyed as a concept in games, although precious few games actually go quickly enough to really make that happen. One of the only games that's ever actually scratched that itch for me is actually an RPG. It's called Half Minute Hero, which I highly recommend, by the way. It's a good game. If you don't understand the point, basically you have to beat each stage inside of 30 seconds, kind of. There's more to it than that, but that's the basic premise. And so you spend most of the game...
Merchant traveling across valley alone. No way that was going to end well.
Yeah, no kidding.
Leftovers, cuts of meat, cataplepis. Wonder what spell requires that.
They did, Mr. Funbags, although I didn't get to see the whole run, unfortunately.
Package still intact. Don't sense anything magic, though. Wonder how Keira will explain this one.
So, as I was saying... Yeah. Oh, hang on. That's a lot of things. I should go ahead and kill all that. I mean, I hate bugs as much as anyone else. Probably a lot more than other people, actually. I agree, by the way, to Big O. And now we're going to get a save here.
Geralt, just when I was starting to miss you.
Because, well, this can actually determine her fate. And I do want her to have a specific fate here.
Got those, substances you wanted?
Splendid. I can finally begin my study of double arboreal racination patterns. But first, I'll...
Brew yourself a mug of mulled wine? Saw what the wagon was carrying. Exquisite meats, expensive wines, Zerrikanian spices. Not a speck of magic. Care to tell me what you're up to?
I would rather show you, but you must wait a bit.
Color me intrigued. Fine, I'll wait.
Then shoo, outside.
Gonna slip into something more comfortable?
Later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Well, go on, out.
Oh, I'd love to hear it, Uthor. I do too.
You've been patient, thank you. It's almost ready.
Huh? If I wanted to see white mice, I'd just get drunk.
Note that I said almost. Now don't interrupt. The Cain Vin Cathel.
Third mouse. What happened to it?
The spell has a 66.67% chance of success. I always use one more than I need, just in case.
So where did... Keira, can I explain what's going on here?
Know the fairy tale about Cinderella?
Mm-hmm. True story it's based on, too. A Zoogle cropped up in a palace pond and ate Princess Cinderella whole. Left behind one slipper, so...
I beg you, not another word about Zoogles. Now, to return to the fairy tale. I'd like to escape these ghastly swamps for one magical night. I don't need a fairy godmother, I'll cast the spells myself. But I could use a Prince Charming. It just so happens you're the only decent candidate in all Velen. So, what do you say to a moonlight ride on horseback? And dinner?
I like option 2. I'm a witcher, not a gigolo.
Sounds tempting. So tempting, I don't think I can refuse.
Before we go, there's one more thing.
Gotta transform a pumpkin into a carriage?
No. I shall transform our rancid rags into something more glamorous.
Yay!
It'll only be an illusion, won't hurt a bit. And at dawn, everything will return to normal.
I have perfectly good-looking clothes, thank you very much. I spent like 40 minutes getting these clothes and making sure I looked awesome.
Why not? Might as well go all out.
Then hold on tight. Gavella Glan.
Up!
So, what do you think? Neckline too modest?
It's just right.
Oh, I might also have changed your hair colour while I was at it. I've always fancied dark-haired men. Oh well, any port in a storm. Well, off we go. Dinner's waiting. Last one there does the dishes.
I don't think the word wade is actually the definition of what I have been doing, Vigilant. Speed waiting. Okay, fine, fine. I was about to say I've been motorboating through the swamp, and then I realized with Keira here I shouldn't say that word. Yeah, this is really slow. This is like relaxing slow. This is just taking an evening stroll. Bum, ba-dum, 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 bum, 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 ba-dum, 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 bum, bum. Sorry, it's a good song. I shouldn't sing over it.
Congratulations. You'd make an excellent jockey.
If only I were a foot shorter and 5 stone lighter.
Pause. Okay. I do want to actually discuss this. On the one hand, so first of all, I like this scene. Let me just start by saying that. I do. There's a lot of... Well, I've been restraining myself for several quests now. But I think we're officially at the point where I can justify giving an additional story positive for the voice acting and voice direction. This is actually the first quest where I really noticed the excellent amount of, again, nuance and subtlety that was put into the voices of this game. Because this was the first quest, and I did this on camera as well. This is the first quest where I noticed just some of the specifics and nuances of what she was saying, and I on camera, granted this is an old stream, so it's long gone, I can't prove this, but some of you were here, I'm sure, to see this, and I predicted what was going on, and I was pretty right. I was fairly accurate to what she was saying and what was happening, just because of how they were saying it. And that's awesome. There, let's make his eyes open really quick there. And that was great. So, where's the story? Where's the story positive? There it is. Well, that was back when I wasn't really archiving streams, Henson, so shrug. Yes, Magister. What? There we go. Someone go stab Gum Gum for me. The second thing I wanted to talk about, because there's actually another scene after this one, is that what I call meat when it comes to games is always the core essence of what I want out of a game. The meat of Final Fantasy VI is the excellent character arcs and character presentation and the way that they are presented. The heavy character focus of Final Fantasy VI. The meat of World of Warcraft is the nature of the world, the setting building, and the dynamic between how things work and why they work, and the political ramifications come along with that. The meat of Mega Man, for me, is the excellent level design, and the way that I absolutely enjoy making my way through each given level and finding out new ways to go through either more precisely or more difficultly to challenge myself. The meat of a Metroid game like Super Metroid is being able to enjoy finding my own path, routing my way through it, and just kind of slowly expanding my way through the realm as I discover and explore new ways to progress, etc., etc. You get it, right? So the meat of any given game is the part that matters the most to me. Now I bring this up within this regards to this game in specific, because in a lot of games, especially games of this nature, the meat tends to be the quests. Oblivion is my favorite example of that. In Oblivion, there's a bunch of aspects of Oblivion. If we ever do an in-depth classic of Oblivion, I gotta be honest, that game's gonna get quite a few negatives. But it's also gonna get quite a few positives for the meat of that game. The quests, the nature of how they're designed and how they are presented. There's a lot there. And that is absolutely the meat of Witcher 3 for me as well, is specifically the quests. This brings me to my next point. We've talked several times before about the nebulous gray nature about main versus side. I've given my 3 potential definitions for optional or side content. I would say in the nature of a game like this that the side content is in many ways superior to the main content. Now there's some exceptions to that, of course. But my point is that some of these side quests, just to make my point in brief, let me cut this off a little bit. How many of those games, yeah, no kidding, Goltic, how many of those games, quests, how many of the side quests in this game are distinctly memorable to you just right now? How many of you can think about a side quest, or 2 or 5, in Witcher 3, and immediately remember it and just, oh, that was such a good quest? Ignoring the one we just did, obviously. Like, even if we remove the tower from the list. Even I can think of several, and I've only played all the way through this game once. Well, twice. Nah, we'll go with once. We'll go with once. Yeah, the Roach quest. That's a good one. The Old God quest. I don't actually know that one. We did just do a fetch quest. That is true. We literally did a go to, loot, come back sort of quest. And yet it doesn't really feel like a fetch quest, does it? I mean, the tower, obviously. Choosing the king in Skellige. That's a good one. The Woodland Beast in Skellige. I don't think I did that one, actually. I skipped a lot of Skellige's side quests, unfortunately. Don't worry, we'll be doing them this time. The Cave of Dreams. I've heard of that one. Don't think I did that one. I could name several in Tucson. You get my overall point here? The Cheese in the Cellar. I do like that one. You guys are just constantly mentioning Skellige quests. You guys are hysterical. My overall point is that the meat of this game is sufficiently well presented that the line between main quest and side quest blurs substantially. Earlier in this very stream, I think it was James Hogan asked, are you doing all the content? And I said, well, I'm doing a side quest right now. That should answer you. And his response was, well, I don't really think of this as a side quest. That just makes my point for me, really. While there are more insubstantial side quests, usually in the form of the contracts, most of the side quests in this game have substantial and significant effort put into them to make them good, right? That's why all of this is just a roundabout way of saying that I'm giving more pluses. But I always like to establish why I'm giving out more pluses. That's always my approach. You'll notice, if you're paying attention, I just gave a plus to gameplay and a plus to story. I gotta find exactly where I'm putting that. Where is it? There it is. Happy Canada Day. I would agree, Puzzle Fury. Before Witcher 3, I usually tend to think of Oblivion when it comes to excellent side quests. And I know that sounds strange, but as I think I showcased during the Oblivion lore run, that really is where Oblivion shines. It's easily the best part of that game, in my opinion. Which is good, because there's so many other issues. Of course, Django's not here now. But to further make my point, as someone in chat just pointed out, we literally just did a fetch quest. The quest was, go here, grab this, come back. We're still in that quest. That quest is still happening. Now, you could argue that as a consequence of the horse ride, the horse race is the other aspect of the quest. But that's basically it. Go here, get, come back, ride from point A to point B. That's it. And yet, because of the nature of how the quest is presented, we can forgive that. This is something I've talked about many, many times, mostly when it comes to World of Warcraft. A lot of quests will always boil down to X of Y. It's kind of hard to avoid that, because there's only so much you can do with gameplay. Like, at a certain point, you're kind of limited by the bounds of your engine, right? So I've always said that good quest design is more about the nature of how you present and how you execute X of Y. And Exhibit A. Anyways, back to this awesome cutscene.
Well, yes. But then I'd not have invited you here. Now do you see why I needed those substances?
Oh yeah, I actually have something else to say about her, because of course I do. I'll leave the music on this time. This is something that I sympathize with Keira about, but it actually makes things... How do I put this? It makes it understandable why Keira isn't necessarily a good person, because she isn't. But someone who's more self-centered, but not to the point of excess. In short, she's got layers to her. And I like that, as someone who enjoys character design. Hello, Alex. But I mention this because she just wanted to go out here, have a nice dinner with an attractive man, and just have an evening to get away from it all. Now, you might, several people were pointing out in chat yesterday about how, aristocratic she tends to be. About how much she's just, oh, God, I'm used to such royalty and lavish accommodations. But at the same time, if you actually think about it, it's not that hard to sympathize with. How many of you have something that you do, which is just a way for you to get away from your day-to-day life? Just something. You don't do it all the time. You can't do it all the time. But every now and again, it's like, you know what, I just really need to bleh. And whatever that is, that helps you to deal with this, right? I agree, video gaming is functionally a luxury item. And of course, it helps us to deal with life. Getting stupid drunk, that's on you. I don't like getting drunk. But I know 3, 4 people personally who also tend to get drunk as a way to vent, to escape, to deal with things. I only point this out because I've heard a few people in the past, especially in comment sections, comment on how Keira is just this unapproachable, horrible person, and I don't agree with that. I don't think she's good, don't mistake me, and I wish Uthor was here in order to, talk about this, because he said he wanted to talk about this. But nevertheless, I do think that the idea of, oh, she's just some aristocratic noble, isn't really valid. Let me put it to you another way. I'm going to go ahead and get real for a second here. I once went without a shower for 5 months. Now, some of you who know about my past know why that is. One of the things I did as a treat to myself, and this is something that was actually paid for by my grandmother, is that she paid for me to get 1 night in a hotel. You know what I did? I stayed in the shower for like an hour. That's it. That's all it was. What I'm trying to say is I kind of get where she's coming from on this one, given how she's living and how she doesn't want to live that way. Anyways. Well, I agree, Huthor. That's basically the exact point I was trying to make. I thought Huthor had left us. I'll go ahead and say this one.
Could have just told me what this was about right up.
Geralt, run to the woods and fetch my shopping. I'd like to make dinner. Well, would you have helped?
If I'd known I'd get a glass of Zubaram dry in return, of course.
Well, never took you for a wine connoisseur.
Think witchers suck the marrow out of drowner bones and wash it down with puddle water?
More or less. Well, we've chatted long enough on empty stomachs. Let's dig in.
Must have cost you a small fortune. Sure you don't need me to pitch in?
Please, I manage. You know, a dozen eggs here, a cock or gander there. Besides, my finances are about to improve.
So, there's point 1.
How, if you don't mind my asking? I mean, you'd think the only work to be had in Velen would be in farming.
Very true. So, I've 2 options. I can either start cultivating turnips or leave. But that's not what I wish to discuss. Thank you once again, Geralt, for your help with the tower. You were fabulous.
Not the first curse I've lifted.
But among the most difficult, correct? What happened on that island? Why, I shiver at the thought. And the laboratory. I sincerely hope you burnt everything. The cages, the corpses, the papers.
I like option 3. I thought we came here to make love. No. See, this is part of what I was talking about earlier. So first she mentions twice, actually, that she's looking to get out of this situation. To try to get back to a more reasonable circumstance. And by the way, I agree with what Keira said, that she defines herself... I agree with what Puzzle Fury said, that she defines herself in many ways by her trappings, I think is the best word to describe that. How nice and comfortable her clothing are, and how luxurious of a chair she can sit on while smelling fine perfume. I don't have any perfume here. And what quality of the food she has. She has glorious bags of carrots, that kind of a thing, right? And I also agree with what Keira said, that the contrast between her and Triss is interesting, especially since, remember, based on the way that these quests are designed, you are far more likely in gameplay to run into Keira before you run into Triss. And if you've played Witcher 1 and Witcher 2, you've had a lot of Triss. Thus, we now have a demonstrable comparison to see what Triss was like, because we've already interacted with her so many times, compared to what Keira is like. This will also then further compound, because later we will further see how Triss is, and how Triss deals with the everyday, the reality of it, right? So anyways, getting back to my point. So she mentions twice she's trying to get herself rated back up, oh my god, back up into society, to get back into a position of power and wealth. Then she, in an extremely unsubtle way, asks if we have destroyed the laboratory.
Didn't destroy that workshop, if that's what you're asking. Didn't see any reason to.
If Alexander's findings were to fall into the wrong hands... Although, Fyke has a terrible reputation. None even dare go there. Perhaps there's nothing to worry about. I'm sorry. Such a gloomy subject to broach. I simply shouldn't have, not during our romantic dinner.
Romantic? Thought we came here as friends.
Friends. With benefits. So...
Don't mind me. But yeah, you could see how this goes back to what I've mentioned before. I know that there's some disagreement on that, and that's fine. Disagreements are awesome. But I think that this helps more than anything else to describe why I think of her as a Krennic. Because she's not a good manipulator. She's not that subtle. She's not that good at what she's trying to do here. She's just... Oh, I sure hope that no one... You did destroy those ghastly records, right? Okay, you did. Whew, thank goodness you didn't do that. Oh, I would hate to think what would happen if they'd fall into the wrong hands. It's really obvious. Now, it is probably worth noting that I am literally someone who has studied human behavior my entire life. So, shrug. But it's also probably worth noting that Geralt has also been studying human behavior his entire life. The only and Geralt's been at it a lot longer than I have. The only thing that Geralt has that might make him not notice this is the fact that he sometimes doesn't actually care. Now, I'm going to turn her down. We still go to the lake if I turn her down, right? I'm pretty sure. Because we still need to talk about a few things, and I still need to do a few things for this quest, but I don't remember the specifics. Okay, so we still go to the lake. Good.
Sorry, there's someone else.
So what? Oh, Geralt, Geralt. You're so old-fashioned. Will you at least lie down and gaze at the stars with me?
Why not?
He did hazardous, you're right.
Know what they call that constellation in Zerrikania?
Dragon something, I bet.
No, it has a different name. Bit indecent, actually. Lean closer and I'll whisper it in your ear. Egfain Nave.
Keira? Where? Put me to sleep with a spell. Means she's up to something. Fyke Isle. The tower.
No, it was an illusion, Wilson. So the illusion just wore off. Well, I'm well rested. Time to pretend I'm playing Sonic Doctor for a bit. I love this mod so much. I'm never playing this game without this mod ever again. I don't even need fast travel. This is so much more fun. Whee!
A light. Top floor of the tower.
Oh yeah, that...
So, found what you were looking for?
Yes, thanks for asking. How are you feeling? Sleep well?
What do you want with those papers?
Why, I aim to use them to continue important work that a man's tragic death put on hold. Alexander was studying the Catriona plague. I'll use his notes to produce medication, perhaps a cure, or at least a vaccine.
Strictly humanitarian motivations, is that it?
No, strictly selfish ones. The mighty would pay willingly for such a remedy. Can you imagine how much? Take Radovid, for instance. Why, he might even consider forgetting my past associations with the Lodge.
Let's go ahead and admit that this is stupid. In character, not out. Now, that being stated, I don't blame her for that stupidity. I think it was Huthor earlier mentioned basically the idea... I have AC, don't worry, Puzzle Fury. It's on 24/7 because it's summer. I think it was Huthor mentioned the idea that imagine if you, in your real life right now, were suddenly back about, say, just 100 years. That's all it takes, really. Maybe even just 50 years. All of a sudden, you're dealing with water that may or may not be clean. You are dealing with whatever bedding you can get a hold of, whatever mattress you can deal with, a shower which might have heat, etc., etc. You know, just a lot of little things, right? A lot of everyday conveniences and luxuries that we've, kind of grown accustomed to. I sympathize with Keira here. I really do. And that's kind of my point. And that's one of the reasons I end up liking her as a character, is because she's desperate to get the hell out of this crap. This has just been so horrible. She used to have a decent life, and then screw you. So, ultimately, this is why I think that she is willing to be dumb. Because, God, I could go back, and Radovid will surely... It's also probably worth noting, and this is something I always have to point out when it comes to analyzing fiction, we know more than the characters do. We know exactly why Radovid is the way he is. We understand his connections with the past, we understand his fixation, we understand how he's playing the town, there's just blah, 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 right? We know he will never give her mercy, or of any kind. He will kill her. We know this especially true because if we actually go down that part in the quest chain, he will kill her. That's actually a thing. So, I agree. Going to Emir might have been a slightly better option here. But it's probably worth noting that I don't think she would really have the life she wanted back in the Nilfgaardians. And of course, you know how people's opinion of the Black Ones tends to be.
Radovid doesn't forget, and Radovid doesn't forgive, especially when it comes to sorceresses.
He'll make an exception for me. He'll have to. I have something he wants.
Please, you don't believe that.
Well, you believe Yennefer will stop treating you like a dog someday. Don't see me laughing. I'm going to see Radovid. Tell him of this research, whether you like it or not.
No.
Keira, I won't let you do this. We can't allow this research to fall into the wrong hands, and Radovids are as wrong as they come.
I'll not give you these notes. I'll not give you anything.
Please, don't make me.
Shut up and draw your sword.
Or, wait. I think I picked the wrong option. Hang on. Yeah, I picked the wrong option. Hang on. God damn it. Let's go back to here. Not the first time. If that happens, let's say 6 more times, we'll give it a negative.
So,
Yes.
what do you...
What? Alex? No. The He'll make...
Please.
Well, I'm go...
This is suicide, Keira. You'll wind up tied to a stake, burned to bolster the morals of the masses while entertaining them.
Shut up for a moment and look at me. See this? Bedbugs, Geralt. Bloody bedbugs. I, Keira Metz, advisor to Foltest and member of the Lodge of Sorceresses, have bedbugs.
Can she set up a force field?
I'll not stay in this bloody swamp one day more. Not one day. I shall cross the Pontar, and that means Radovid's men will find me sooner or later. Don't you understand? I don't have a choice. I will have to parley.
So... there is an alternative.
Got another option. Go to Kaer Morhen.
You believe I'd be safe there?
Long as you don't piss Lambert off, yes. Emir, Radovid, neither will be able to reach you. Find little in the way of luxury there, but we do have clean sheets.
It's a long way, well beyond the dividing line. But if I keep to the woods until I reach the Kestrel Mountains, I should pass through unnoticed. So be it. Seems I find it hard to refuse you, handsome. You've clearly a notion of what women want, how they think.
Yes, Contraxpia. I don't remember which choice I'm supposed to pick here. Yeah, I feel like I'm supposed to take the notes. I'm almost positive I'm supposed to take the notes. Because otherwise she would be tempted and, yeah.
Yeah, kinda. So before I go, I'll need you to hand me those notes.
All right. Take them already.
I did just save, but I wouldn't find out the results of this for a while.
Or rather, see you soon.
So, I'm going to agree and disagree with Huthor here. I know, shocker, right? Wait, no, portal! Aw. Oh, well. So, the agree is that I agree that she's not a typical Krennic. One of the major character points of being a Krennic is not being cognizant of exactly how irrelevant you are. Krennic thought he was a big fish. He wasn't, and that's the point. Keira, by contrast, is aware of how small of a fish she is, and this is the one thing that really differentiates her from a typical Krennic scenario. Yeah, I did that, Corrales. I do, however, disagree with Huthor in that I don't think she was pulling a counter-manipulation, cry for help kind of a thing, as Huthor described. At least not initially. It might have turned into that, especially by the final encounter we just had. But I don't think that was in her mind initially. Hang on. There we go. Go faster.
Need a swift kick in the arse?
Yes. Wait. Yes, Krennic. It's a character concept. James Hogan. So now we're going to go ahead and do the Baron. No, Krennic is a character in Star Wars Rogue One. It refers to a character, I'll spare you looking at my website, also known as one of the best Star Wars films. Anyways, a Krennic refers to a character who presumes that they are a big fish in a big pond when they are specifically a small fish in a big pond. I know, it's weird, right, Revan? In other words, someone who is supremely self-important, but isn't. And again, as I was just talking about, that lack of awareness is very important regarding that.
Where do you get garlic?
Not half bad. Brought him a bucket of peas yesterday.
Lifeless, move it!
Said a hag to a hag.
I liked Solo. Oh yeah, I should check the notice board while I'm here. Actually, I'm not going to. I'm not going to yet.
Halt!
What?
Baron home?
Depends who's asking.
A witcher. Want to talk to him.
Yeah. And I want to plough the lovely Queen Cero.
Seen this man before. In at the crossroads. You brought us around. As I recall, you were to go your separate way.
It led me here. Gotta talk to the Baron.
Oh, aye? What about?
Something important. His ears only.
Fine. Lodrin, let him in. If he makes any trouble, well, we outnumber him.
Not really.
Open the gate. Sergeants! Ardle! Witcher, to see the Baron. Don't want no disturbances. That clear?
What do you think?
Okay.
Guard called you a sergeant. You a Temerian soldier?
Not your concern, mate.
Deserter.
Temerian army don't exist no more.
So what are you all doing here?
Had a choice after the Black Ones thrashed us. Let it lie and try to lead normal lives, or continue to resist, join the guerrillas and fight for our beloved Temeria till death do us part. We chose the former.
And the Baron your commander?
Yeah. Commander.
Your mate split.
What's funny is, if I'm not mistaken, there's actually 2 robber barons within the course of just this game. One here and one Olgierd over in Hearts of Stone.
If it weren't for our fair elders... Emphysema! Now those were balls. Attended a few, me and my Annie. Oh, how we danced, how we twirled, ha ha ha! Ooh! 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hey!
Enough. I don't care how you do it, but the deliveries must be weekly.
Won't you stay for tea?
No. Besides, you've another guest.
Look at that. Didn't even stay for tea. In spite of all that blabbering about how cultured the nation is.
Rumors rarely find confirmation in reality, especially the ones about foreigners.
Right you are. I know who you are. Believe I also know why you've come. We'll talk inside. Make yourself at home. Now, where'd I put the bloody vodka? Ah, there it is. A snifter.
Why not?
Ha! A man after my own heart. With Foltest dead and Natalis whereabouts unknown. Bloody hell. Who's a loyal Temerian to drink to these days?
Himself and his company?
Good enough. To the matter at hand. I'm Philip Strenger. Now the Blobtits round here call me the Bloody Baron.
Geralt of Rivia. Blobtits call me the Butcher of Blaviken.
I said already, I know who you are. Truth be told, it's the only reason we're talking. How do you like it here in Velen?
I don't. Swamps, bogs, marshes everywhere.
Exactly. Someone loses their way around here, he becomes damn hard to find.
What are you getting at?
Many have lost loved ones here. Some their wives, Others, their daughters.
Get to the point already.
Ciri, that's why you've come, isn't it?
So she was here.
She showed up some time ago. Exhausted, wounded, and stinking like a soaked hound after a hard hunt. Later, I learned she'd come from the swamp. Said some beasts from the woods attacked her before she could reach the village.
So yeah, we play as her.
That was close.
And yes, the speed affects her too, by the way. So I'm going to have to be a little more careful and not run on her. Now, this is actually something that's not actually going to come up until later, but I don't want to forget, because I have a lot to keep in mind for this, so... Plus to gameplay, plus to story. Now I know what you're thinking. Lore, what are those pluses for? Well, the gameplay plus, it should be fairly self-evident. Princess Peach segment. Enough said. The story positive is actually a little bit different. We have several series sections. Each one is told... Thank you, Taito. Each one is told from a different perspective by a different person. And the actual specific nature of each quest is different. And it's a surprising subtlety, and I'll show this off as we go. But each, even though we're playing as her, what we're actually seeing is a tale being told about her. If that makes any sense. And thus, it's skewed. Each time we play as her, it's skewed a little bit differently from the other times due to the nature of the person telling the story. This is most obvious when it comes to Dandelion's section, but I just wanted to mention that as a wonderful little storytelling tool. Actually, funnily enough, there's really only 2 parts of Dragon Age 2 that do the same thing. One is the very beginning, when he tells his exaggerated tale, and 2 is when he first confronts his brother after the whole, I can't think of everything, the idol incident. Those are the only 2 times that the narrative being told by someone actually matters for the sake of the story. The entire rest of Dragon Age 2, it's played straight, as if we actually are playing events in the past. So it's just a framing device. Exactly, Leander. She's also portrayed as a very epic character of tremendous power, which of course she is, by Dandelion. Like I said, he was the most obvious that really, it's like, oh, wow. Because, you know, Dandelion is Dandelion with a flair for the dramatic. Not you guys. See you around, Dream Whisperer. Happy birthday. I'm pretty sure that I am not the only person who would enjoy a game playing as Ciri. But then again, I'm also someone who would enjoy playing a game.
She needs help.
As a sorceress.
You can calm down.
Hello there. Are you lost?
A little, I guess. Are you?
Also, happy birthday, Sonic. I didn't know it was your birthday, too. What are you doing watching me? Go do something fun and awesome.
Yes. Though also just a little.
Does that mean you know which way to go?
Not quite. Not yet. But I'm sure we'll find the way if we set off together.
What happened to you?
This? It's nothing.
Funnily enough, I usually work on my birthday too.
How did you wind up here?
My father brought me. Told me to follow the trail of treats and eat my fill. He said he would wait.
Oh.
So I started down the trail. Then I saw a butterfly, and I ran to catch it, and I lost my way.
Yeah. So, at this point in the story, we've already discussed the nature of why following the trail of treats is horrible. What's funny is that's only because of the nature of how we did the quests and which things we read. So that's not necessarily something the player will know. But it is woven in there, nevertheless, of course, because there's a lot of threads woven into this game.
Your father, why did he have you follow the trail of treats? Do you know?
Because we had naught to break our fast with.
I don't understand.
I was naughty. Broke a jug. Spilled all our milk.
Your parents must have been angry.
Mother said I should be spanked, but Father said wouldn't do no good. Too many mouths to feed anyway. Sending me down the trail of treats, that would solve things.
There's only one thing I don't like about Ziri's visual appearance in this game, by the way. Way too much eyeshadow.
You and your father, when did you leave home?
This morning.
And did the sun warm your face or your back?
It warmed my back.
So we must go east. Come, I'll walk you home. And explain to your parents that they must not lose their children in the woods.
We can't go home because of the Wolf King and his pack.
No kings among wolves.
These have one.
And you've seen him?
Yes. I mean, no. From behind a tree. He was huge, with giant eyes and great fangs, and he was terribly, disgustingly horrific.
See what I've got on my back? Wolves fear it. Kings do too. Come, I'll help you up.
God dang, Tigzar, really? In fairness, I this is not the first time I've played this game. So... Hang on. This is the combat song I don't like, by the way, that I referenced yesterday. Yeah, that one. I don't care for that.
My father couldn't even do that.
Mine could do a lot more. Come.
Go ahead and stab me. I'm used to it. I don't even like the Beatles, guys. I'm very used to it.
Look! There's something there.
Wait here. Don't come any closer.
But...
No buts. Stay here. I must see something.
No, Alex.
Bloodshot, but still moist. He died recently. Lips parted and bloated. Bit clear through his tongue.
Ooh, that's a lot of pain.
Immense pain before death. His chest is crushed. Ribs probably pierced his lungs. Something picked him up and threw him against the tree.
It's a very clear visual stab, and actually it's a Black Mage from FF1, Puzzle Fury.
Something tore his leg off. No, gnawed it off.
Ew, that's horrible.
Stay there, and look away.
It'd be more accurate to say that you can't stop yourself from biting your tongue when you're in that much pain, Sonic.
Interesting.
In short, you're effectively spasming if you are in a truly insane amount of pain. So...
Let's see. His liver's gone.
Why are you digging through his belly?
Would you mind making certain your laces are tied?
So I like how, A, she's following in the footsteps of Geralt, despite the fact that she hasn't actually interacted with Geralt in how many years? B, it's not a pickaxe, it's a dagger. B, she's got the self-monologue thing. And of course the knowledge, she's not as versed as Geralt, but she's obviously leaning in the same level of detective style. And C, and this is actually my favorite one, she has the same attitude towards kids. In other words, trying to be like, trying to take care of kids. She's got that motherly approach that Geralt also has.
The Wolf King's no fantasy, it seems. Except he's a werewolf.
What happened to him?
He had a fall.
I bet. The Wolf King got him.
When did children get so smart?
What'll we do when the Wolf King finds us?
Good question. I've no silver, but I can make a blade oil.
Oil? You mean like we make from rapeseed?
No, a far more special oil. Of dog tallow, wolf's bane, fool's parsley, and wolf's liver. The Wolf King will feel terrible, terrible pain.
You're smart. How do you know these things? Did your father teach you?
Not my father. My uncle. Uncle Vesemir.
Although my father taught me a few things too, but Right. Up there. I was gonna say, they should be over here. They are not.
Hear that? Wolves.
Hide! Quickly! They're gone! You can come out!
You cut them up bad!
Do parents often send their children out to follow the sweets?
Sometimes they send their children. Sometimes they go themselves.
Do they return?
No.
Why would they? There's plenty of things to eat.
Now for a spot where I can build a fire, and brew the oil in peace.
What you doing?
Greasing my blade. There. We'll see just how effective Uncle Vesemir's formulae are.
I mean, I'd like to think steel would do that. Where's my password? Follow Greca. Greca, come on. Come on. It is you. Oh, I know Cashel. I can recognize her immediately. It's actually funny to me because I've heard several people bash female Hawk's voice and praise Ciri's voice.
This way. Through the cave.
You lead.
There's a cave.
It's a bit dark.
Afraid?
Are you?
No.
Then I'm not either.
What?
The Wolf King, now do you believe me?
I do. Hide!
Why, you really give him a drubbing. Never seen anything like it.
Girl, you can come out now. Come on.
Funnily enough, I think that's one of the reasons why I like Femhawk better on Inquisition, Keira White Noise.
You're lucky we came this way. Found someone far less fortunate in the forest.
Must be. We was returning from Midcops when the brute attacked. I managed to flee, but Yaren...
The little one. No details. You have bandages at home? Some spirit? He laid a claw or two on me, unfortunately.
I've not, miss, but my lord, he's a powerful man. He's sure to help you. Might even reward you for cutting the werewolf down.
Very well. Lead us to your lord.
Well, he has food.
Just who do you think you brought me, man? That's not me daughter.
And the little one?
Neither, damn it! I think I'd know my own child.
Now, I just want to pause and mention that really quick. Because... do we ever... I could be wrong about this. Do we ever actually find out who Grelka's parents were? I'm actually not sure, because I don't recall anything to that effect. Just give up, Tigzar. If you're not going to like it from the origin, which is some of the better designed quests, you're not going to like it in general. Have you tried... which origins have you tried? Also stab. Now, I bring that up for two reasons. One is the obvious, because I didn't know. The other is, it serves as a nice contrast to Strenger himself. Someone earlier mentioned it's entirely possible the parents don't actually know what they're doing when they send the kids off. And that is entirely feasible. As I've said many times, one of the main themes of this game is knowledge and lack of knowledge. So it's entirely possible they really do think that she's being sent off and she'll be taken care of by the crones. I mean, it's fair to say that they'll never actually want for anything ever again. But anyways. No, which origin did you play, Tigzar? You can play as a dwarf noble, dwarf commoner, human noble, elf or human mage, elf, city elf, outwards elf. I think it's everything. So 6 origins. The second thing I wanted to mention here, though, is this is actually a nice way to emphasize Strenger as a character. Notice that up until this point, several things in the game have emphasized just how terrible of a person that Strenger is, right? One of the first things we ever learned about him is from the ambassador. Now, this is an optional cutscene, but the ambassador back in the Nilfgaardian gentleman, I can't remember his name. I mark you well, avoid him. You remember that? Then we hear little bits and details about how bad his people are, his men. Then we actually encounter some of his troops who are basically horrible people. Then we meet his troops on the way in, who are not particularly pleasant and very obstinate. And then we meet the Baron himself, and he's strangely affable. This, I think, is one of the reasons why Strenger is such an excellently designed character. Because he is probably one of the most three-dimensional characters I can think of in recent memory when it comes to something like this, especially for a side character. Usually when you see a character that has this many layers to them, this many aspects to define their geometry of a character. It's because that particular character has had a lot of time to flesh them out. You know, like a main character who has been around for multiple games or multiple movies or multiple shows or whatever. You know, we can point to Jean-Luc Picard as a very dynamic, multifaceted, multi-layered character. But he's had 7 seasons and 4 movies to flesh him out, right? In other words, a lot of time is capable to flesh him out. Strenger is a side character in one game. See you around, Sonic. And so in other words, what I'm trying to say is, it's not necessarily that he's an extremely well character, although he is. I think it has to do with the specific way he is executed within the narrative of the story. Each story beat about Strenger is very efficient. It establishes a character point of him very quickly, very efficiently, and then it moves on. And then there's another point, and then it moves on, and then there's another point, and then it moves on. So we learn a lot of details about Strenger in short order, which helps to flesh him out substantially. So all his screen time is put to good effect. And so we've seen his feelings about his men, we've seen his feelings about the North, and about Nilfgaard. We've seen how he reacts to strangers, and his more menacing, intimidating nature. We've seen his pseudo-politeness, and now we're seeing how he interacts with kids. We'll see more of him later. Anyways, I just wanted to comment on that really quick, because I think that's one of the reasons why he's such a fantastic character. Oh, I also want to say one last thing, just to get this out there. Once again, I want to stress this over and over and over, because we got into an argument about this last time we streamed this section of the game. I don't think the Bloody Baron is a good man. I don't. I think he is, in fact, a bad person. But I do think he is an excellent character. And I just wanted to mention that because, as I said, many people, especially when this game was relatively new, kept speaking of the whitewashing of the Baron and how they were trying to make him, less horrible. And I'm like, well, yeah, he is less horrible. It doesn't make him a good guy. And I'm sorry, I hate to even berate this point, but it was such a sticking point for so many people back when we were first discussing this game. So I just wanted to get that out there really quick. Let's move on.
Well, might not be yours, the older one, but you've got to admit the likeness. That's downright striking. So, any chance for that reward?
You'll not see one fucking copper. Get out before I set my hounds on you.
Now contrast that with...
So, stew any good?
Very. Thank you. I'd not eaten in...
Clear to see. I'm pleased you like it. Had them prepare a bath for you once you've eaten, and you could do with some sleep. Gretka in the nook behind the hearth. You in the guest room opposite the kitchen.
Thank you.
Shh. Eat now. We'll speak once you've rested.
Just, you see that efficient, immediate contrast there, right?
So I ordered my men to watch her and left her to rest.
And?
A topic for another time.
The little girl who showed up here with Ciri. What happened to her?
Gretka. She's safe and sound. Helps out in the kitchen. Ciri told me of the girl's parents, what they decided. So I decided not to send the lass home. She's fed here. A roof over a warm corner she calls her own. She wants for nothing.
What happened to Ciri?
I've told you already. A topic for another time.
So again, I hate to stress this, but once again, notice how we just, bam, go right next to the next character beat. How he's taking care of Gretka, which goes straight into the blackmail. Now, Huthor asked a really relevant question. Is he bad for the setting? Now, that's actually an interesting question. I think it would be more accurate, this is just my opinion, of course, I think it would be more accurate to say that the Bloody Baron is more damaged than he is actively bad. And I know I'm dancing on knives just even talking about this, because let's just get it out there, he does abuse his wife. Let's just acknowledge that and admit that that is terrible. There's no excuse there. So, that's horrible. But I do think it is more accurate to say that he is not an actively malicious person, that he is instead damaged, that he is broken, that he is someone who has issues. That does not excuse what he does, but it does kind of help to explain it, I think. And, well, I do want to mention one other thing in brief. I know we'll get to it later, but one of the things that I do feel like mentioning is that his wife also abuses him. She does not do so physically. He abuses her physically, she abuses him mentally and emotionally. Neither of those things are acceptable. And I just wanted to get that out there because I've noticed a lot of people don't mention that second half. So.
Take it you won't give me this information for free.
Sharp you are. I regret your loss. Commiserate. But you see, it so happens my wife and daughter are missing as well. I propose an exchange. Find my loved ones, and I shall tell you about the girl you seek. All I know.
Thing is, can I trust you? What guarantees do I have?
None whatsoever. Only my word.
Fine, I'll help you. I'll find your family, but then you'll give me every bit of information you have.
You have my word. Guard! This man's under my protection. No one's to bother him in any way. Don't stare, I've not grown horns. Treat it as a token of my good faith.
When do you see them last?
They vanished after the new moon, as if whisked away by shadows.
What do you mean, vanished?
Precisely that. I awoke one morn to find them gone.
Yeah, fair enough, Dido. I'm just trying not to gush about those bricks. They're so lovely, though. I think that those bricks deserve a positive. Yes. Must give positives. Sorry. No, I am actually going to give another positive, though. Sorry. Put simply, this is a positive for something that I know is true. I don't think this will bloom into a third positive, but this is especially a second positive for the usage of doodads, lighting, and general set design for the course of the entire game. It's actually not for the bricks. I was just kidding. It's just for, like I said, a lot of attention to detail is put into the game, and I always appreciate that. But there's one thing about putting a lot of attention to detail in a game that's this big. Putting a lot of attention to detail in a game that's this big, in my opinion, that deserves an additional positive. My opinion. Oh, I can make a Sonic joke. I can do it. I'm not going to, of course. Until I start running!
You try to search for them?
Sent men out right away, but they're not suited to it. It's one thing to rip up floorboards in search of a peasant's last sack of grain. Finding a living person, they just don't know how. Besides, Velen's naught but swamps and marshy woodland. Plenty of hard to...
I'm sorry to interrupt here, but I just want to make the point that the brickwork's actually not good here. You can literally see how bad the brickwork is right there. If you're looking at it, the JPEG, the texture is extremely obvious. It's actually partially blurred with the camera zoomed in this far. And the only thing you can actually see, the only mesh there, is one single brick which actually stands out in a bad way from the rest of it. So this is actually bad brickwork, if we're just being completely blunt.
Nooks, if you're looking to hide someone, this is the place.
Maybe they were kidnapped. Got any enemies?
None worth mentioning. Worthless little pricks and angry peasants is all. None would dare raise a finger against my family. Any who might have, they've been eating dirt long since.
Anything unusual happened before they disappeared? They act differently, do anything strange?
Unusual? No. Well, not long ago, peasants came to complain that a beast had ravaged a woman by the well. Devoured another lass before her. Common occurrences in Velen. And my women, Anna, quiet as a mouse as ever, and Tamara, occupied with her things. Nothing unusual.
Things?
This place. Must be hard to be the only two women here.
This place? What do you mean? I wanted for nothing here. Pheasant for dinner? Not a problem. Blue ribbons from Toussaint? Say the word.
Had your men in mind. Their company. Sure your wife and daughter weren't being harassed?
My men are a horde of horsens, but they know their place. One of them so much as looked at Anna or Tamara crosswise, I'd cut him down like a dog.
I mentioned that part because that's actually an important aspect of Stranger's character. He has a very forceful and powerful personality. And that's very important because it's basically necessary to keep a force like his men together. Because, well, let's just call it what it is. He's basically running a bandit camp. And we all know how horrible and how lack of discipline a bandit camp has, right? And, as Huther points out, he has a tremendous temper. He will go from completely normal to just absolutely raging within just a few seconds, as long as someone hits just the right buttons. Which, yeah.
I'll need to know a lot more than that. Can I see their rooms?
What for?
I need clues. Anything to latch onto.
I'll not let a stranger pore through their belongings.
Want me to find them or not?
I do.
Then let me work.
Fine. But I shall go with you. The doors are locked.
Also, as a quick aside, I love his visual appearance. Like, he's quite unique looking in terms of his outfit and in terms of the way his fashion is.
Babe, my daughter loved animals. Saw a deer trophy on a wall once. Do you know what she asked?
Haven't got a clue.
Papa, is that deer's wump on the other side of the wall? You see it there? What's a trophy? I pity any bastard who's hurt her. I'll flay him alive. Here it is. Damn it! Jammed again. Our bedchamber. Tamara's room is there. Try not to make a mess. For their return, I want everything
Stem's
to be as
broken.
they left it.
Walls a different color. Something used to hang here. That painting? Right size. The Baron and his wife. Look happy enough.
Don't know if I'd agree with that sentence.
What's this? Gotta wonder who wanted to hide the hole. And what's on the other side.
It's death.
It gets interesting. Piece of wood looks like the stem of that candlestick. No coincidence there. Fight might have happened here. I'll look for clues.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I've already given a negative for the repeated dialogue. Yep. No. I didn't. Oh my gosh. Would that be gameplay or negative? Or, listen to me, gameplay or story? God, I can't talk today. Let's go with story, because it interrupts a lot of cutscenes and other dialogue that I'm trying to listen to. I guess it is an aspect of gameplay, though. It literally is. It's actually, technically, another aspect of the sound balancing issue. Yes and no, Huthor. Let me give you an example of what I'm giving a negative for, even though this is actually for in Witcher 2, but it's the same issue exists in Witcher 3. So I'm wandering around a camp trying to gather things, and this guy in the background's like, plow 'em all, plow 'em all. Here's this horrible song I'm singing, plow 'em all, plow 'em all. Then he finishes his song. About 40 seconds pass, and then he starts singing again. The same exact voice clips for the same exact song. Then about 40 seconds pass, and then he does it again, and again, and again, and again. I'm not sure I have Contraxpia. I suppose the closest would be Spider-Man PS4, but that's mostly because I spent so much time not around people who were talking. Go ahead, Puzzle Fury. You got it. Here's a plus for Pamparam.
Fresh flowers. He expects them to return any minute. Takes hope.
Oh yeah, I suppose there's also Breath of the Wild, although that also gets technically. Because again, no people.
Deep nicks. Hit with a heavy object.
Although actually, if we're being honest, Breath of the Wild kind of does have the same problem. It's just not exemplified because they don't talk in Breath of the Wild. How many times are you walking through town and you hear, ah, you know.
Huh. Rest of the candlestick. And wine stains. Somebody smashed a bottle. From Toussaint. Yeah. Ervelus. Scent hasn't died. Wonder where it'll lead me.
Yes, I could be a voice actor for a Zelda game. Hi, Berserkeru. What's up? I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, they've mentioned Toussaint a lot, actually.
Damn ugly for a doll. The kind you'd stick with pins to hurt someone.
Anything else here? You know, someone mentioned I could read those immediately, but V doesn't do anything. We are more like a family. We support each other and help each other survive tough moments, grapple with the past, for each of us has a past. So you needn't worry about digging anyone into yours. We've got a rule. Never ask more than someone offers on their own. The past doesn't matter to us. The future does. That and our common fight against evil and depravity, against perverse and loathsome practices of all kinds. It's a letter to Tomorrow, or Tamara, or Tomadoo, or whatever our damn name is. I'm just going to loot everything here. Loot, 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 loot.
Incense. And an old key. Wonder what it unlocks.
It's alright, Gum Gum.
Anise. Sandalwood. And something else. Saffron.
Why is it still saying? I don't remember, Magister. Might have been Evil Church Land. I mean, they are evil and a church. They're not actually a church, let's just be honest with ourselves.
Pam-param, pam-pam-param, pam-param.
There. I stood there just for you guys. But yeah, the detective gameplay is...
Damn, trail breaks off. Could find something else, though.
It's a neat way to flesh out gameplay, but ultimately there's not a huge amount of complexity to it. It's literally just you hold down the button and you connect the dots, and that's really it.
Spruce wood. Smells of juniper incense. Some sort of folk talisman. Protective. Question is, against what? Won't find much else here.
Oh, there's another scent. Yeah, exactly, Taitu. That's why I say it's kind of a neutral for me. It's a neat enough mechanic, but I don't think it's really plus-worthy.
Well, bring out the gimp.
Think the gimp's sleeping.
Well, guess you'll just have to go wake him up now, won't you?
Whoops, no. Eternal fire, which lighteth our hearts and giveth us light. Heat us with thy warmth, dry our tears, burn our foes, embrace our friends in thy care. Give my mother health, punish my father, help me fulfill my destiny.
An altar. So, the eternal fire's made it to Velen.
Oh yeah, real quick, while I'm talking about the eternal fire. There we go. Moving on. Whoop. And no, I'm not going to react to each Pulp Fiction reference. I don't even like Pulp Fiction. Now, Ginger Ninja I like, but Ginger Ninja's no Pulp Fiction. Ginger Ninja's like what Pulp Fiction should have been. Like, just picture it. You enter Pulp Fiction and there's a whole bunch of red-haired, freckled people. And then they're gone. And then they stab. So noted, Ginger Ninja. Thank you, as ever and as always, for the sub. Much appreciated, thank you. Why I don't like Pulp Fiction? I don't like stories that are told out of order that don't actually do anything creative or fun with it. I don't like the fact that it's excessively edgy to the point of trying to push buttons for no actual narrative point. I don't like the fact that it goes way over the top with several aspects of its storytelling. I love him shooting the guy in the back of the car. That still makes me laugh to this very day. I guess that's about it. And yeah, I have seen the whole movie, by the way, for anybody curious. Like, I'm sorry, you can call me evil, but that's the funniest moment in that entire film. Just leans over the back. Hey, do you really think... Oh, God! I'm not evil. Alright, what's this frickin' thing called? Of course they do, Gum Gum. It's a film by Quentin Tarantino. Lots of film geeks like to praise Quentin Tarantino. I don't even blame them. He has a unique style to him. Now, see, I have rebound V. I bound it to dodge because that's a good, you know, V and B are my dodge buttons, basically. But I don't know what it should be. Like, I don't see what is missing here as far as as a button. I suppose I could just unbind V and see what happens. So let's just do this. We don't need to dodge anyways. We're invincible. Unbind. 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 Yeah, screw Alt. So I can't unbind that, apparently. No, and I don't want to, Rowan. Well, I suppose I could bind dodge temporarily to the end button? Sure. We'll see what that does.
Done poking around?
Found a doll in Tamara's room. Tell me about it.
What could possibly be so interesting about a doll, Witcher?
Looks like it might have been used for some sort of black magic. Where'd Tamara get it?
Black magic? Are you balmy? I made it for her. She was four, perhaps
welcome. Pay close attention. Hopefully you'll learn something.
Hi, what you gonna do? Hi, Raspant. What's up, guys? Pam param. Sorry. Damn it, Lord of Mordor. Funnily enough, I actually do need to purchase groceries sometime this week. No idea when I'm going to get to do that. Between this run and the 4th of July, I'm not sure what I'm going to actually be able to do. I'll figure it out. Or I'll starve to death. I'm just kidding. I'd live for, I don't know, a couple months without food. I should know. Thank you very, very much, Lord of Mordor. As ever and as always, appreciate the support. Thank you.
She's old. We were in Vizima on market day, and she saw the sorceress, Triss Merigold. Insisted she must have a doll just like her. Couldn't afford a thing of that sort, so I made the doll with my own hands.
I mean, I've done that before, Taitu. Doesn't work. So, yeah, most places around here are having, not... Basically, some of the local places, including the grocery store, are shutting down for 4th of July. So, if I'm going to go, I need to go today or tomorrow, basically. Anyways, I agree, Alex. You guys are awesome. Like, you hear me say that every now and again. And for some reason, some people don't seem to understand that I mean that sincerely. You guys are actually awesome. I get like one horrible toxic troll person per week on average. Then I ban them or block them. And then there's you guys. You know?
So it is supposed to be Triss. Yeah, I see it now. Eerie. Looks just like her.
Doesn't it? Time's taken a bit of a toll, but overall it continues to impress.
You got something to fall back on if things don't work out with Nilfgaard. Found signs of a fight in the room. Know anything about that?
A fight? What are you talking about?
Someone was attacked. Probably your wife or daughter. Whoever it was tried to defend themselves with a candlestick. Missed the attacker. Punctured the wall instead. They tussled too.
I don't know nothing about this. That night, I was drunk. Don't remember a thing. They were gone by the time I awoke.
Doubt you were the only ones in the castle. Maybe one of your men heard something?
3 times I asked those bastards if they'd seen anything, heard anything. Nothing. Not a one of them.
Yeah, by the way, in all and total honesty, this is why I mentioned that he is not a good person. Because and you'll notice how hesitant he was to even admit that he was basically blackout drunk that night. Literally doesn't remember it, right? Well, I mean, we'll cover that later. But still, that's... Yeah.
Whole landing smells of wine. Tell me anything about that?
One of the lads, must be. Lushes, one and all.
Give your men Ervalus?
Oh, damn it. I might have spilled it. I told you I was good and marinated that night. Was it matter? Stench of wine in plenty of corn around the castle.
Recognize this amulet?
Yes. Anna began wearing it a time ago.
Any idea where she got it?
None.
Any witches or cunning women in the area?
A Peller. Old Coot lives near Blackbow. And there's a cunning woman in Midcopse, but I know little about her. She's only recently arrived. If Anna were to see someone, she'd choose the Peller, not the woman. Anna was wary of strangers, newcomers.
Ought to have a chat with this Peller.
Fair warning, he's a hard man to talk to. Rumour has it he killed his own father with an axe as a lad, then went batty. Now they say he sees ghosts and ploughs his goat.
Not really interested in his hobbies. Just want to ask about the amulet.
Oh my god, there is music in this game. I saw it earlier. No! It's a sub! My one weakness. Seriously, I saw this earlier. Where was it? Hang on, hang on. There it is, right there. Let's put that towards... Is G bound to anything? Or T. T might work as well. Nope, T is taken. So is G. Why are all these taken? You know what? Hang on. Unlock bindings. So we're going to bind this to end. We're going to bind this to G. And we're going to put dodge back on V. There we go. Let's see if that works out. Thank you very much, Contraxpia. Which I'm probably pronouncing incredibly wrong. As ever and always, appreciate those subs. Thank you. Now, if you know what you'd like to put that towards for future streams, let me know. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I can elaborate. An option, Mike Romano.
Well, bring out the gimp.
Think the gimp's sleeping.
Well, guess you'll just have to go wake him up now, won't you?
Yeah, I'm too far down. Sorry. Oh god, stuck. Trapped. Death. Horrible death. I'm free! Free! Okay. Alright. Let's go. Do I want to do that? What time is it? I'm going to pause for just a moment. I need to put some water on the stove to boil. I'll be right back. Yes and no. The list of, in response to Contraxpia's question. Yeah, we recently entered Phase 2, which meant people could put new things on the list, and many people have.
Need a swift kick in the arse?
Not that I'm aware, but thanks.
What's that you're muttering?
That's funny, Gum. Nope, not doing the notice board. I mean, it's no fun without sound effects, right?
Master Witcher, help an old...
Alright, what? Whoa! Hi. What's up?
What's the matter? A monster bothering you?
Nay, a ghost.
Can you tell me anything more?
You see, Jackamar haunts my dreams. Jackamar's my husband, or was till he died at war. He stands by me headboard and wails. So many years apart, I've such woe in the beyond. Come, join me. I say, I'll come, Jackamar, but when the gods summon me, not before. Then he says, leave your wedding ring by me grave. It'll make the waiting lighter. And I'd leave it, where the wood's not so terrifying. So, I thought to myself, maybe you.
Right. You sure it's your husband's ghost?
Sure it's your husband's ghost?
You saying I can't tell me own man? I'm old, but I ain't gone daft yet.
Not what I meant. There's wraiths that deceive, assume the form of dead loved ones. Trows, for instance, or dunnies.
Nay, I'm sure this is Jackamar. In me dreams he spoke of our nuptials, how we danced at Bellatane. how the Redanians killed him at Rind.
Rind? You've either mixed something up or you're very old indeed. Battle happened 80 years ago.
Oh, aye. Slip of the tongue. Meant to say the Battle of Rivia.
That guy's literally pissing in the background.
Be glad to help. Where's Jackamar buried?
A little cemetery near Blackbow, in a grave neath the old tree. Here, take me ring. Once you've laid it down, come to me for your reward. We live in a hut in the middle of the village with my granddaughter, Lessie.
Yep, plus to gameplay.
Strange.
Hey, she vanished. I'm sure it's not relevant. Onwards. Hey, upon a time.
What do you want?
Want to talk to the Peller.
Too late. We've got dibs on a chat with him. A long one.
What do you want from him?
To give him what he deserves.
And that is?
He done conjured auguries. Said something evil had made its nest in Edric's bowels. Told Edric to eat rowan berries. Lots of them.
Ever since Edric's lived in the outhouse. And he's got hardened pustules all over him.
Just so happens I need the Peller alive. So if you agree to leave him alone, for good, I'm willing to tell you how to help Edric.
Well, all in all...
Yes or no?
Fine. Let's hear it.
A tea of mullein leaves for his belly, and cover his boils with mallow. A few days and he'll be good as new.
Noted. But if it don't work, we'll be back. Move out, boys. Got scabies.
Gotta wonder about a man who could get Edric's friends all worked up.
My old lady'll know. Got a knack for herb shippers. The other shite, mallow. Want to have that too? Chops it.
I don't know how to define edgy. I've been debating that question ever since it was posed. I suppose edgy is for me one of those things that you know it when you know it. Because for me, edgy is about intent, which is something you can't always predict or correctly deduce. So, edgy is more about pushing buttons for the sake of pushing buttons, rather than for any actual intent. It's like, oh yes, I'm so edgy, look at how edgemeister I am. In other words, trying to garner attention, rather than trying to, you know, make a point or say something or whatever.
Hey, anybody home? Open up, it's safe now.
Devils. Who do they bring? What seek ye?
I need your help.
Oh, a man, nay, a wolf. Grey, though not old. 'Tis he the Peller awaits.
Nice, chicken feet necklace.
You were expecting me.
Aye, as the bones declared I should. They shall come whose stench is rape and death, but the wolf shall disperse them, the white wolf. And thus he comes. Omens never lie.
Okay.
Recognize this? Made of spruce wood, strong smell of juniper, designed to protect someone.
Freshly cut spruce sprinkled with goat's blood, then tempered with an incense of earth, smoke and juniper. For Anna, to protect her.
You make the amulet?
Aye, sure 'twas the Peller. After the way of his forefathers, over still water in the light of a full moon. Proper as amulets go. It protected well. Should never have taken it off.
So, designed to protect her. From what?
Oh, the dear. Besieged she was, evil all around, wanting to possess her. Old magic, born of oblivion, from dark sources emerged.
Old magic? Can you be more specific?
'Tis not for mouth speech, nor for the touch. A small protective charm, not a thing more a Peller could do.
Anna and her daughter are missing. Know where they are?
Nay, no, nay. Peller don't know.
But the spirits could know. The Peller will augur, the spirits ask.
Spirits? Great. Fine with me. Long as I know where to look, where to find them.
Lost, must be found. Princess! None better than Princess
Of
for finding
course you
things.
follow me. They all do.
Princess? Which princess?
Princess, my goat! She's fled.
Those men must have scared her off. Can we get back to the auguring?
Without the goat, impossible. No goat, won't work.
Can't seriously think I'm gonna chase down your goat.
A Peller without a goat makes for a mute prophet.
Fine. I'll get your goat.
The bell! The little bell's ringing. She loves it. Ring, ring, and she will follow. But for a while. But beware of wild strawberries. Raspberries, too.
Yeah, treacherous as beasts go. I always keep an eye out for them.
The Lorerunner agrees, Alex. Let's go find the goat. Yeah, this quest is extremely meta.
This way, I think. There you are.
Can't we just pick this thing up?
Here, goat. Here, princess.
Ah! There. Come here, you damn goat.
Hoofed and horned. Should have known it would be stubborn. Alright, time to try the bell. Come on, let's go see the Peller. Do I really have to keep ringing this bell for you to follow? This way, your grace.
That's interesting. Its move speed is a little higher than I thought it would be.
Where the hell did you go?
But its range leash, its leashing is horrible.
Bear! Bear! Run, you stupid piece of shit!
Do I really have to keep ringing this bell for you to follow?
My point being, Leander, that it's not a limit of speed, which is usually what it is. It's a limit of distance. That's all I was commenting on. Nope, lost her again. Escort quests.
Looks like rain.
Escort quests.
Princess, flee not from the Peller, for there are wolves about. Goat of mine, dearest, sweetest goat.
So for future reference, Raspant, if you type @Lorerunner, I don't actually get a notification. You have to type @the Lorerunner because Twitch is stupid. Nevertheless, yes, I did get a donation. I think. Let me just double check. Yep, it actually did go through. Thank you very, very, very much, Raspant. As always, much appreciate your support. Thank you. It's actually, God, I'm trying to think how long it's been since I had hair. It's been a long time. Like 5 years? 6 years? Something like that. It's been a while, is what I'm trying to say. Either way, thank you again very much. However, I can't help but notice you didn't tell me what you want to put that towards. So if there's a stream coming up in the future you want to put that towards, just let me know. And we can be like, Fazam! And it'll be done. For example... Whoops. Contraxpia put something earlier towards Sunless Sea, which I actually don't know a whole lot about, but hey, you know. Why no hair? Health issues. Shave. I'm ignoring you because you're a big Pulp Fiction fan. You do not know me very well, sir. No, I was not ignoring you. I was doing a horrible escort quest. I apologize. The gameplay's awful. It's the worst game ever. That didn't count, Magister. That was a unique example and circumstance. That was forced upon me, not chosen.
Happy for you, but I'm kinda in a hurry. Anna and Tamara, they might be in danger.
The White Wolf helped the Peller, and so the Peller shall help him. Blood. We need blood. A living being.
Okay.
Fine. Be right back.
I did just kill a bear. Does that count? Also, I can't do a lore run of a movie. I would be copywronged into oblivion. No, Gold Tech. Squeak, squeak.
Will this do?
I suppose Dead Space is possible, not for a lore run or a rumination, but for a premiere run I could do. So Dead Space 1, for example?
They are not here. There is God. Blood. I see blood.
Whose?
No Anna. No Tamara. Just a child.
A child that lives not, yet did not die.
It's over? Is that it?
That is it.
Spirits had nothing more to say? Like where they went or where they are now?
You came for an augury, and augur I did. They're gone, the child remains.
Mentioned a child. Whose?
Why, Anna's.
Anna was pregnant?
She was, and she miscarried.
Baron didn't mention it.
Afraid, perhaps. Or ashamed, or forgetful. Or perhaps he had no wish to remember.
Now make of that what you will, and we'll talk about that more probably after we come back from the break. But it's probably worth noting, remember how generally good the Baron is with kids. And then consider what we just found out.
Anna tell you all this? Did she come here after it happened?
Nay, not Anna. 'Twas the omens told me.
Great, so I can be sure it's true.
The omens need not your faith to be true. It is you who needs the omens to lead you to truth.
The Baron have anything to do with his wife's miscarriage?
Foul-tempered he is, and he's a fondness for hooch.
No doubt makes his temper even fouler. Did he abuse his family? Anna came to you, you must have noticed something.
The Peller's old, near blind, but Princess came and licked her hand.
So what?
She's a wise beast. Only comes to those who suffer.
What happened to the child?
In a grave thrown. Without rite or ceremony, it awoke. Now it wanders. It seeks vengeance.
A botchling.
Yeah.
White wolf. Wise wolf. Catch the botchling. The botchling will help. Lead the wolf to the loved ones.
Botchlings suck the blood of pregnant women and eat their fetuses. They don't help.
'Tis a being cursed, and witches lift curses. If the white wolf can't lift it, he should bring me its blood. Blood will always find kindred blood.
Why do you want its blood?
Blood. Blood, blood. It binds men for all ages, the living and the dead.
Sure, but what do you want to do with it?
At times, a century is too short for two brothers to reconcile. One dies before things are set right. The other then brings his blood to the Peller.
Mm-hmm. And what does the Peller do?
He awaits Forefathers' Eve. He mixes the blood with milk, herbs, and hen's feet. He drinks to reconcile the dead with the living. There shall be no Forefathers' Eve this year, but we'll find a way, all the same.
It would probably be more accurate to mention that it was... Not that it is an actual child, but that it was an actual child. And hang on, I hate to interrupt this, but... Spin towards Dead Space 2. You got it. And thank you again.
Heard of one Witcher who lifted a Botchling's curse. Never tried it myself, though. I know you need to bury it under the threshold.
And give it a name. Perform the Aim Roin.
The ritual of naming? That's an elven custom.
Human, elven, dwarven, ancient. Spirits have no race. They honor not its meaning. Win a spirit's favor, and the spirit shall aid you. Ask, and it will answer. Seek, and it will show you the way.
I hear you right. You mentioned Forefathers' Eve? Pretty old custom. Thought it had died out.
Death lurks in every bog and puddle round here. Folk know they could die, their earthly matters unresolved. Then they require help, or they'll not know peace. Forefathers' Eve must be performed. Light the tallow candles to lead them through the dark. Call them by name, appease their regrets. Only then may they depart in peace.
Whatever I do, I gotta find the Botchling first.
Seek it at midnight, near the grave that lies empty.
If what you say is true, the Baron ought to know where that grave is.
Botchlings are perhaps the most repulsive creature a Witcher will ever have the displeasure of meeting. Born of dead, unwanted babies discarded without proper burial, their appearance is that of partially decayed fetus, their unformed flesh twisted with hate, fear, and malice. These hideous creatures feed on the blood of pregnant women, driven mad by hunger that often leads to their victim's death. Just gonna warp back here really quick.
Lightning strike?
People! Castle's on fire!
People!
No! Set the stables afire! Run! Fire!
Drunk old fool tottering about again. Don't calm him down.
Set the stables afire.
We've got to put it out. Miss Tammy
I'm
could
not
calm
going
his
near there.
rage.
Got a lot to
Rather
look
not
for
end up
still.
with a blade
Don't know who
between
can
my
calm him
ribs.
with Tammy gun.
Oswin! Where's Oswin? Anyone seen him?
Believe I saw him heading to the stable.
What?
Fire. You blind? Nobody willing to put it out?
Ain't that simple. Most are afraid. Baron flies into a rage. He takes no prisoners.
My brother's in the stable! We've got to save him! He'll burn alive! Him and the horses!
See what I can do.
Hurry now! Quick! Well...
Damn it, won't budge. Probably bolted on the inside. Need another way in.
Nope. There's a ladder somewhere. Got it. Oh, that's weird. It was the first thing I saw. Am I muted? I'm not muted. Hang on 1 second.
Damn it. Lots of smoke. Gotta hurry.
Well, speed isn't really an issue at the moment. Sure, we'll loot this. Why not? Ah, get out of the way.
Over here! Can't get out! Roof's collapsed! Coming to get you. Gotta let him out! Open the main door! Do something!
Maybe if we go this way. There we go.
We've a hero in our midst. You've earned yourself a barrel of Lyrian.
I know your wife miscarried. Was that before or after you beat her to a pulp?
What the fuck are you suggesting?
Don't play me for a fool. You'd been beating them for years. Finally, they'd had enough and fled. Sound about right?
I wouldn't if I were you.
Plowing smash.
They ran from you, didn't they?
Lying prick!
Your dedication will be rewarded.
No, Lord of Mordor. Doesn't work that way. Thank you very, very much for the donation. Much appreciative. But no. Now, if you want to put that towards something that isn't that, let me know. Ah, he'll be fine, guys. He's fine. There's no issues here. I mean, human beings don't need to breathe, right? I mean, I don't need to breathe. See, he's fine.
We need.
So, hang on. I do hate to interrupt here, but I do love this. Geralt really just does not take any crap when it comes to certain things. He's been polite, reasonable, and willing to work with him. Then he shows up to a man who is raging drunk and known to have a temper. And he just confronts him to his face with one of the most horrible things he could, more or less deliberately provoking them. Then he beats the crap out of him and dunks him into the trough to try and get him out of his drunk stupor. Just... that... yeah. Geralt puts up with a lot of garbage in life. But there are a few specific things that he doesn't put up with, and this is one of them. And of course it takes someone like Geralt to be able to literally knock some sense into the Bloody Baron. Now this... I'm just going to go quiet on this scene.
Sit down. You beat them.
I never laid a finger on Tamara. Not once.
And on Anna?
That's another story. She always knew how to spark my ire.
Expect me to believe you are a loving father to Tamara after that scene in the courtyard?
You're free to believe whatever you wish, But she was always the apple of my eye. She had the run of the place, ask anyone. She'd ride the horses, hunt with the men, at times join them on their rounds. And they'd send for her when I flew into a rage, for only she could calm me.
Make it sound like she led a charmed life. If that's the case, why'd she run?
I'd hardly need you if I knew.
Your wife. How'd she make you angry? Too much salt in the soup? Socks never darned?
20 years we've known each other. She's seen me drunk and sober. She was there to greet me when I returned the victor. She was there to patch me up in defeat. Like no other, she knew where to press, where to pinch, so it would hurt.
You beat her? For that? For criticizing you?
Oh, Witcher, you haven't a clue, have you? Well, perhaps I shall tell you about it one day. One day, but not today.
You knew they had run away from the start.
Yes, I knew.
Why didn't you tell me? Wasted my time.
Say I had. Say I'd said I had troubles. Couldn't control my wife, my daughter. What kind of flaccid prick would you take me for?
Tell me everything you remember about the day they fled. The truth this time.
I'd been soaking myself 3 days straight. Anna came to me, said they were leaving. I begged them to stay. She refused to hear it. I tried to stop her. She wriggled like an eel. We struggled. She fell. Last blasted thing I remember. Woke up in the morn, breeches heavy with my own piss. A large bump on my head. Sadly, they were gone. Know what that's like, Witcher? No. How the fuck could you? I was left with nothing. Nothing! Only the bottle.
Signs of a fight in the room. Hole in the wall, wine all over the landing. Was that you?
Aye. We tussled. She tried to whack me on the noggin with a candlestick, but kept missing. Hit the wall and the pillar instead. I staggered backwards onto the table, spilled the wine, slipped and tumbled. Anna used that moment to flee. She rushed down the stairs, still clutching that damn candlestick. I caught her on the landing. We fell. I thought I had her. Then she turned and smacked me in the head. I blacked out. Don't know what happened next. When I came to, I was alone.
Tamara present for all this? She see you quarrel?
Through the doorway, perhaps. She didn't enter the room. Shame, too. Things might have turned out differently. The sight of her always calmed me.
What happened next?
Next? It only got worse. I awoke at sunset, not knowing how many days had passed. Thought it was all a ploughing, drunken nightmare. And then I went to the bedchamber, and Anna was not there. Instead, there was blood everywhere. I knew she'd miscarried. My breath short, my throat locked. I neared the bed and saw it. It lay there, a tiny thing, defenseless, on bloodied sheets, dead. And it was my doing.
Maybe you're doing, maybe not. But that amulet she wore could be important. Or maybe the fact that she lost it. What did you do with the child?
What was I to do? Took it out and buried it.
Just like that?
Damn you! I gave no thought to a funeral. It was a horror. I wanted it to end. That child had been my dream. I told Anna, the little one, our little one, to make things right. Yet she died before she could be born. Understand, Witcher? My child was dead.
It is my opinion that the only reason Geralt gives any cares for the Baron after this is because as a father he understands.
I sympathize. I do.
Thank you. And know that I hope you find your Ciri.
Deal we made means I need to find Tamara and Anna first. Just so happens your unborn daughter might help us do that.
What? How?
Sometimes miscarried fetuses, if they don't get a proper burial, turn into botchlings.
Into fucking what?
A cursed creature that draws strength from killing pregnant women. Once it's strong enough, it attacks those who scorned it.
But how? How does it know?
Blood ties. They're a strong bond. A bond I want to use to find your family.
How?
One of two ways. Legends claim you can bury a botchling under the family's threshold, perform a ritual, and turn it into a lubberkin. That's a sort of, hob, a guardian spirit that could lead me to your family.
And the other way?
We kill it and draw some blood. Take that to the Peller and he does the rest.
Do not kill my child. It's suffered enough already. Lift the curse that it may finally rest in peace.
Whatever we do, we gotta find the botchling first.
I'll show you where I buried her, and I'll dig the grave at my threshold.
If it turns out we can't transform the botchling into a lubberkin, they can bury us in it. Handy either way. The sooner we resolve this, the better. Best do it tonight, at midnight.
Then wait here with me. Near midnight, I'll take you to where I buried her.
Get word to the common folk. Ought to stay in their homes tonight and draw a line of salt outside their doors. And try to sober up.
Do I take a shovel to dig up the grave?
Take it. You'll need it, but not for that.
A bit further. Follow me.
Thank you very much, Munch DK. As ever and as always. Much appreciate, thank you. And I have jotted that down towards Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines too. Yes, Contraxpia. This is an excellent example of what we were talking about back then. I do love how the Baron immediately goes for the Hob option, by the way. That is indicative, I think.
You give the child a name?
No. Why would we?
Mistake. Names are powerful seals.
So pragmatic.
Here's the spot.
Chose a lovely spot.
Damn it, will you relent? I'm ploughing now I've done wrong.
Good. The grave's dug up and empty.
What's that mean?
Botchling's on the prowl.
In fact, it has already gotten a plus, Contraxpia, I believe. So that's a botchling.
arms, quick.
And if it goes Garrity, it'll bite us in the arse before we know it.
Keep screaming and it will turn rabid. It's calm for now.
Bloody hell. What happens when it gets plowing restless?
It'll bite through your jugular, and you'll bleed to death before I can help. Tell me if it starts wriggling. I'll calm it with magic. Pick it up. Take it in your arms.
Merciful gods!
No, Raspant. This is just sad.
Back to the fortress.
What? With this?
As I recall, you were the one wanted to test the old legends, change it into a lubberkin.
Oh, fuck.
I would have liked it if his animation for carrying the baby changed the further along he gets.
Angry specters. Botchling scent attracted them.
Oh, my mother's God. Do something!
That is what I'm here for.
Take me! It's writhing something fierce! I can't hold it! Calm it somehow! Oh. Quiet now. But what do you want to do with it?
Me? Nothing. This is your job. Told you, gotta bury it under the threshold. If the tales are true, by tomorrow it'll be a lubberkin. From then on, it'll watch over your house and help me find your family.
I mean, it's excellent doodad usage, Contraxpia. I like to point out, by the way, the fact that this creature is in such torment that its mere existence literally calls out to nearby wraiths.
More coming. Need to hurry.
On with it! The valleys.
Notice how, at that moment, the Baron has already started to be far more defensive towards the creature. Now, it could be me misreading it. That's entirely possible, but I don't think so, given that I know what's about to happen.
Not good.
Squirming again? It worked. It stopped.
Chosen a name?
No.
So think of one. It's important.
It's a girl. What would Anna have named her?
Absolutely not, Raspant. I actually have tremendous sympathy for the Baron. He is a broken, bitter, crushed man. In many ways, he is the most obvious example of this setting in one individual person. Really? In short, he is someone who is a product of the world, to put it into such terminology. Thus, if you ever want to know why it is that I despise this world, look no further than the Bloody Baron. Yeah, that was a hard crash. Yes, but only if I had power in Oceans. Where are we at here?
You give the child a name?
Damn, we're all the way back here.
Why would we?
Mistake. Names are powerful seals.
Sorry, guys. I'll try to quick save further on next time. Wasn't expecting a hard crash there. It's almost like I deleted it from existence, Brada Fraser.
Here's the spot.
No, I want to finish this quest before we break.
Good. What's Botchling? Take it in your keep. It'll. Back to the fortress.
What? With this?
As I recall, you were the one who wanted to test the old legends, change it into a lubberkin.
Oh, fuck.
See if we can... No, we cannot hurry him up. That's okay, I thought it was worth a try. No, Loner. That crash is unrelated. Most of these soft locks and hard locks in Witcher 3 are specifically related to the loading or lack of loading of animations. We'll see if there's enough crashes or locks throughout this run to really justify a negative, but I do think it would deserve a negative if they're sufficient. Well, speaking of which, let's get that ready to go.
Spectres. Botchling sent a train.
Do something!
Shit.
Pest, take me! He's thriving something. Oh. Quiet now.
Oh, Lord. I'm actually familiar with that incident, Raspant.
But what do you want to do with
And I have to be completely honest, I don't know what I would do about that. I don't think I could withstand that, for example.
If the tales are true, by tomorrow it'll be a lubberkin. From then on, it'll watch over your house.
Now here's the problem. I can't save. You'll hear that clinking sound? That's me trying to save. And it's not letting me. So if this crashes again, I don't know what to do, honestly. Let me see if I can... Nope, it's not gonna let me. Alright, whatever.
Need to hurry.
On with it! I'll not wait till they devour us. Squirming again? Like a daft eel? I cannot... It worked.
No, still not.
Stopped.
Chosen a name?
No.
So think of one. It's important.
It's a girl. What would Anna have named her?
I doubt that's even related, Platonia. As several other people in chat have mentioned, this is a crash-heavy spot, and it is one of the problems the game has, loading animations. If you remember, the last crash we had was actually before we even had the speed mod.
What now?
Repeat after me. By the powers of earth and sky.
By the powers of earth and sky.
By the world that was to be your home.
By the world that was to be your home.
Forgive me, you who came, but who I did not embrace.
Forgive me, you who came, but who I did not embrace.
I name thee, say her name, and embrace thee as my daughter.
I name thee, Daya, and embrace thee as my daughter.
Good. Now bury the body.
What now?
In 1 day's time, Daya should turn into a lubberkin. I'll stay here and wait. You go home.
I'll wait with you.
Out of the question.
But that's my child. And the guilt, the responsibility for all this lies with me.
Time for parental impulses? It's long past. Besides, nothing else you can do here.
But...
No buts. Just Witcher's work left to do here. Gotta wait a day and a night for the Botchling to turn into a lubberkin. That's it. Go home. And try not to drink yourself stupid again.